you like me?
Marco.
Yeehaw, it's bull wrangling time.
Hurrah. Remember, Marco, you know everything. Remember? Marco. Remember, Marco, you know everything. Marco.
Yes, sir. Yes. It's a bonus thing.
God did Obama.
Millions and millions.
Gotcha.
I take responsibility.
So we're here. We are here. Thumbs up the ting. It actually feels nice because sometimes I miss y'all when we wait after Saturday. It goes Sunday, then Monday, then Tuesday, then all day Wednesday. And I'm thinking, where's my goons, man? I miss my goons. I'd be sad missing my goons. And then we do the bonus thing, and everyone's thumbs upping the ting.
Thumbs up the ting.
And it's amazing because everybody clicks like on the video, and then, you know, it spreads and people see it. And I've got, you know, I just cracked 61K subscribers, so who knows what the future could hold. Haven't even dropped my flagship piece of content for the year yet, even though we're getting very close. Ah! To be honest with y'all, my anxiety is through the roof. If I'm being completely honest, my anxiety is through the motherfucking roof. My anxiety is through the roof, and it is because I've got a lot on my plate right now. I am, you know, bracing my cheeks for the impending lawsuit that I am extremely confident I'm going to receive in light of this new video that I'm about to put out. And I'm just not looking forward to that. And I feel a lot of pressure mounting behind this video because, you know, I've never worked for so long on a video. I've never put in as much work on a video. And you know, it's definitely getting there. I think I'm actually going to film the final talking head takes tomorrow. I went and got a little haircut today, a little haircut today. So I'm feeling prepared to be on camera. It's just that, yeah, I feel that there's a lot riding on this video. And, you know, if y'all wanted to consider becoming a member or gifting some memberships or, you know, joining the Patreon or something like that, maybe dropping a bag ski poos, you know, now I would honestly say, you know, it's always a good time, but now is the time. you know, because it's going to be, we're getting up there. We're getting close to the final thing. I'm not going to lie. We're getting close. And 105 people watching, only 81 likes. I don't make the rules, but we're getting close. And I have the video. The video is at a stage that it could be watched and it could be enjoyed, but the razzle dazzle isn't on there yet. And I'm trying right now to make it as concise as possible. It's like the total length is 1 hour and 2 minutes right now. I'm confident that thanks to my script revisions where I have shortened it and, certain edits that I've made, that I will be able to get the video under 1 hour in length, which to me would be perfect. It is like, it's perfect. But excited to drop it, nervous to drop it, anxious. Valerie,
don't brace your cheeks too hard, BB throwing kisses.
Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support, Valerie. We're manifesting it, you see. So, support the boy. Thumbs up the ting.
Thumbs up the ting.
That's a free way that you can support. What is up to all you guys in the chat? There's so many of y'all. Appreciate all the members in the ting. A lot of gray in the chat these days. A lot of gray in the chat. A lot of gray.
Obama.
And we need to fix that, right? We need to fix that. Someone who says looking thick. European Cutie says looking thick. Listen, it was leg day today, so you might not notice it in the upper body. But honestly, my aunt gave me the greatest compliment the other day. I have these white T-shirts that I've had them for 3 years. My ex-girlfriend's mom got them for me. And they're like very soft material, and they've always been just like a comfy, loose-fitting shirt that I can wear whenever, basically. And they don't wrinkle. The material is like they don't wrinkle. So if I was lazy and I didn't fold my laundry or take it out of the basket before it got wrinkly, I would just... You already done know. Hey, Louise Mack, thank you. That is big up. That is big. Thank you, A. Louise Mack. A. Louise Mack gifting 10 memberships to Even Stevens, Silica Valley. Ooh, look at all these people getting memberships. Andrew. Glenn is in the chat. What up? Why Not Review? Bug. Heather C. Damian Jackson. Big names. Michael Milner. Rebecca Lingle. Hopi Nay. Great people, frankly. I know a lot of, but nobody knows more about Rebecca Lingle than me, frankly. And wow, that's amazing. What up, Mars? What up, KB? Even Stevens. A. Louise Mack carrying the cult on her motherfucking shoulders. So appreciate that, A. Louise Mack. Thank you. Thank you. A. Mac with the big sack.
Bars.
You done know. Suzanne, what's up? So, Tretino, what's poppin'? So, thank you. What was I saying? Yeah, the white T-shirts. So, I have these white T-shirts that have always been loose. And the other day, I was wearing one of them at my aunt's house. And my aunt said, you need to get a looser shirt. I can see your breasts. I mean, has there been a better compliment? Has there been a better compliment about my pecs getting... You know what's crazy is I can actually flex my pecs. Like, I can feel them. And if I squeeze hard, there's actual pain there. You know what I mean? The mind-muscle connection type thing. But Alex, what up? NPAS, what up? Marco's little buds. We call Marco's little buds. We call them little buds. Nobody knows more about Marco's breasts than me, frankly. You look at what's going on under Biden. Under Biden, Marco had no breasts. So true. When I get back in office, Marco's little buds will be coming back so strongly, hugely. They'll be so big. We're going to do it bigger. Anyways, all right, shall we get on with it? We have to listen to Baddog Sports, one of our goons. finally went on Losing Fortunes Radio after so much of Peter and Scott's posturing and fake flexing and bullshitting, and we finally got him on there. Not, I say we like I fucking did something, but he finally went on there. So we are going to listen to the Big G, Bad Dog Sports. By the way, join the Discord if you're not in there yet. Of course, it's free to join. That's the 24/7 chat. Basically, all the tomfoolery you see in the chat, it continues 24/7 in the Discord. But in the Discord, Bad Dog posted that he is in a bodybuilding competition. If you look in the general tab, and you can vote for him to win that. I believe he's in second place, or when I looked, he's in second place. And he's got 2 days left, so it's time sensitive. So if you want to thank Bad Dog for kicking Scott and Peter's ass on this episode of Losing Fortunes Radio, consider voting for our boy Bad Dog Sports. We call it Bad Dog Sports. Vote for him in the Muscle and Fitness magazine. And hold on, 20 grand? The prize is 20 grand for real?
You're wrong.
Whoa. The prize is 20 grand? Guys.
What you were?
Goon Court rules, okay? Chapter 16, subsection A, paragraph 3 says that I, as the emperor, am entitled to 20% of every goon's earnings off top. Whatever you make. So if Bad Dog makes 20 grand, what's 10% of that? $2,000. $4,000 for the boy! $4,000 for me? Hello. So let's get Bad Dog 20 grand, but more importantly, let's get me 4 grand. Makes so much sense now. If I had known that, I would have fucking promoted it earlier. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's check it out. And thumbs up the stream, because it looks like close to... no way. 45 of you guys have not clicked like on the stream. And it's a betrayal, and, you know, based on the sheer fact that I have 61,000 subscribers, some of you are bound to be paid assassins. And it's cool, I get it, but still. Thank you, Laura H, for the dono. She says, sorry about anxiety. Don't have a breakdown like Peter and start reminiscing about 6th grade on voicemail. I might have to, especially when you consider he was the editor of the school paper. I might have to pull out the fact that I was in the Can West spelling bee in 6th grade, and I was placed first in my entire school. And then when I finally got to the competition, I got disqualified on my first word because I couldn't really hear what the guy said. Yes. So we've had a tough life, basically. Okay, let's get on with it. Literally the most schizophrenic, you know, the first 20 minutes of any stream is just babble. Save some breasts for the rest of us. Thank you. I want to read these comments about my pecs. Pecs are like a dead dog. He died like a dog. Yeah. All right. All right. 20%, yes. So when you join the Discord, Mars says she had some trouble. When you join the Discord, make sure you click the green check mark in the welcome tab. That's a security measure to make sure bots aren't joining the Discord. Is you actually have to click the green check mark emoji that is presented there in the rules to confirm that you read it, even though nobody does. And then it'll give you access to all the other channels. So, yeah. Goon tithing. Tithe. You know? Gotta get the bag, Bad Dog. Bad Dog putting laughing emojis when I talk about 20%. I don't know what's funny. I don't know what is funny. What up, Beyond? Okay. All right. Let's hear Bad Dog versus Losing Fortunes Radio, finally. All right. What up, Janet? All right, let's check it out.
Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM marketing network lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingles.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. It's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. It's a Saturday night. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. on the Central Side. We're here every Saturday at this time with a great friend of ours, Scott Johnson. This is actually Scott Johnson's radio show, and that's going to come into play in a little bit as we start.
Oh, I got to bring up the Losing Fortunes Radio bingo. I forgot him. It's been so long. It's been so long. Scott and Peter have kept us waiting. With here we go. Building Fortunes Radio. Did Peter already pronounce a weird word in his sentence? No? Did I miss it? All right, let's continue.
This radio show on Saturdays at this time. Several years ago, we started doing this because I own Building Fortunes Radio, and I was doing a radio show with a gentleman who was an anti-MLM guy, a gentleman named Roger von Blissingen, and he was talking about what was going on with Herbalife and with Vima at that time. And I asked him because he was this really smart guy, and he...
Thank you, Bad Dog. Bad Dog says, trust me, if I win this thing, I'll send you a bag, bro. Come on now.
He was on Seeking Alpha, which is a publicly traded company review website, so seekingalpha.com. And I asked him to be on our radio show. Scott Johnson shortly called me up after that and said, you know, Roger and a gentleman named E. Robert Smith, they were bringing up some good ideas, but they were not catching something that a lot of people are missing in the MLM world. And I said, what's that, Scott? And he told us about the MLM tools scam, or the Amway tool scam specifically, as it relates to MLM. And I said, you know, and I'm cutting my abbreviation short because we have a special guest, but for those people listening in, that's how Scott and I got started. So I said, you know, let's do a couple of radio shows. I don't know how much we'll be able to talk about tools by itself, but we'll talk about that, and it's kind of extended for, now I guess we're going on 7 or 8 years. And sometimes we do the radio shows ourselves, and sometimes we have a guest, and today Scott brings a special guest. Now, I have to say, for the record, he is bringing his guest on this radio show, and I am protesting his guest. So for those people that are listening in,
what a cock! What a rude fucking thing to do to your guest on a show is literally undermine your co-host by saying that you are protesting the guest that they have invited on. Like, at that point, just, isn't it Scott Johnson's show? Isn't it Scott Johnson's radio show? You say it during every intro. So why would you be protesting? You own it, right? Hired and fired himself. What do you mean, bro?
I'm just going to tell you straight. He's going to go through a little bit of his background. We both come up in New York. We've had whites on our show. We've had blacks on our show. We've had
what?
Latinos.
Whoa. Hold on. I have never in my days, in my 27 years of life, heard someone refer to whites as whites. Did I hear that right? Also, saying we've had whites on our show, we've had blacks on our show, after protesting your current guest already makes it sound like you're about to be racist. So, okay.
He's straight. He's going to go through a little bit of his background. We both come up in New York. We've had whites on our show. We've had blacks on our show. We've had Latinos on our show. We've had Chinese people on our show. We've had gay people on our show. We've had Scientologists or anti-Scientologists on the show. We've had lots of different people on this show. And just to playfully say the reason why I'm protesting, I've never had a New Yorker on this radio show that was a Yankees fan.
Ah, okay. That deserves one of these. Hold on. Just a funny little joke. A nice little, you know, nice little joke. Nice little sports joke. I like how they're starting off so, amicably and friendly with this little jab about the sports teams and whatever, when it's like, you guys actually have been talking shit, though, for a hot minute, you know? Here we go.
I've never done it before. I hold this radio show in protest because he's a Yankees fan, and I grew up as a Mets fan.
He's a Yankees fan. This guy's 60, bro.
And for anybody that ever grew up in New York, you know there's a little bit of a rivalry between Yankees and the Mets.
Is he drunk?
So I protest this guest on this radio show for that purpose only, But having said that, Scott, I want to give you the opportunity. Now, Scott's also traveling, so if he drops off, I will we'll wait. I'll talk to his guest, and then we'll come back in. But I want Scott and his guest to be able to have as much time as they possibly can.
You know what I want is for the 40 of you who haven't clicked like to thumbs up the ting.
Thumbs up the ting.
And for those people listening in, this will be back up on the radio show, a day or so or something like that. If you go back to buildingfortunesradio.com, search for Scott Johnson, you'll see it there. I don't think I'll give him a mean title like we brought a Yankees fan on our radio show. No, I don't think I'll be that mean. But having said that, Scott, thanks for being here on your own radio show.
Hey, Peter, thanks for having me. And your protest has been recorded, so that makes it official. Like we usually lead in on this show for any new listeners that might be out there, I have two major problems with MLM. One is what you mentioned, the tool scam. And to talk about that a little bit, to define it, what that is the Amway upper-level distributors, they call them IBOs now, independent business owners. They have tools which include things like tickets to meetings.
Oh, my God. He's going to explain it again. Thank you for this dono, Om Prakash Swain. I don't know why I didn't read it out. Sorry, Marco, due to new laws about international money transfer in India, this is the only way I can send donations. Hey, baby, a bag is a bag. Thank you, Om Prakash. I appreciate you. You are a G. Yeah, is Peter, is he drunk? The way his voice cracks and he slurs words, easy to pronounce words, it's insane. All right. Remember, guys, they get 10,000 weekly listeners. All right. He's on the space station. Yeah, somehow he's managed to make his audio even worse than normal.
Books, recordings, phone apps, websites, voicemail. There's just all kinds of things that are supposed to inform and motivate their downline. And in my opinion, they do a decent job of that. The problem with the tools is they make a huge amount of money, and I don't have a problem with people making money either, but they don't talk about it. They pretend, they lie by omission that their success came from Amway, and really most of it came from the tool scam, the Amway tool scam. The corporation knows about this. They've known about it for a very long time. Rich DeVos, one of the two co-founders of Amway, made a recording back in 1983, and he said, you guys need to knock it off or else I'm going to take some serious action.
So, Baddog, while this is happening, are you just sitting and listening and waiting to chime in? Are you muted or are you just politely waiting? That's what I want to know.
That never happened. It continues to this day. Now, not all MLMs have tool scams. Some even prohibit it. But Amway's is on steroids. I have not found another MLM that has as lucrative of a tool scam as Amway. There might be one out there. I just don't know about it. Now, the other big problem, which I think applies to most MLMs, I don't think it's all.
KB, thank you, renewing your membership. This is for Scott lurking in stream. We're the only ones that listen to the show. We know what the tool scam is. Please stop explaining each episode. Appreciate that, KB. Thank you. Welcome back into the cult. Welcome. So funny.
All MLMs, but most of them, is the lack of retail sales. And when I say retail sales, I'm talking about sales to people who are not distributors, people who are not part of the MLM compensation plan. So
keep it coming. Thank you, Kilikina. Where's the button?
Do you like me?
Thank you, Kilikina.
Nothing in it for them except looking at the product, looking at the price, and making a yes-no decision on whether to purchase it. And because most MLM products are so overpriced, there's very little retail sales, and that's actually the definition of an illegal products or services.
He cut out. Not even 10 minutes into the episode. And that's the definition of an... It doesn't actually go to a customer, and that's the definition of a... And with the tool scam, what you get... Stupid.
Are being purchased by the insiders, so to speak, the distributors, the IBOs. That's an illegal pyramid, and the FTC is very clear on that issue. I'm disappointed in the FTC because they go after individual companies, but to date they have not put out a policy that defines that. And I hope they do. And all of this information I'm talking about, the best place to find it is on my Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/ScottTexJohnson,
I'm going to count this as that.
ScottTexJohnson, you'll see 3 websites, links to the 3 websites. You'll see a link to my YouTube channel, which has that Rich the Boss speech. And you'll find my email and a link to this radio show. So it's all there on my Facebook page, all those links. And there's lots of details in there. There's a whole bunch of details documenting the size of the tool scam. It is a lot. It's up to 10 times more, and maybe even more than 10 times of what they make from Amway. And so their real business really is the tools, not Amway. Amway's the bait, and the tools is the switch. So that's, the whole situation in a nutshell. So yeah, we have a super guest today. He popular.
A super guest. A super guest.
It's at least one anti-MLM Huns YouTube channel, and I know he's agreed with me at times with his comments on that channel, but he's often disagreed. He's often
talking about
said derogatory things towards me, and that's fine. I believe in free speech, so that's why I invited them here, is to exercise his free speech. So let me introduce, his name is Kevin, and he also goes by Baddog on YouTube, and so I just wanted to introduce him in such a way that, because he was in Amway, actually Quickstar, when
the
it
worst
was
intro, the worst intro
years, in 1999 to about 2000. It was phased out between 2005 and 2007, and it went back to Amway after that few years of being called Quickstar in North America only. And so, Bad Dog, welcome to the show. If you can just give us a little bit about your background, whatever you want to share as far as, where you're from, what you do, how you were approached by Amway or Quickstar, and just kind of get us started at that point. Let's go.
All right, well, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. Just so you know, my kid's upstairs. He's 6, and he has a loose tooth, so I don't know what's going on with that. My wife just texted me. Hopefully he's fine. So there's not much about me. I live in upstate New York. I work for the state of New York, and that's, I'm just a typical 8-to-4 guy. I have the old JOB, as the MLM people like to say, but yeah, man, just to go back a little bit, I graduated in 1993 from high school, so I'm not a kid. I've been around quite a while. Didn't want to go to college. I was done with my education at that point. Didn't want to do it. Just wanted to go work and make some money. Had a little job. People upstate New York will probably know it. It was a little convenience store called Stewart's. I worked there for about a year. I had a guy, he used to come in all the time, and I'd always tell him about the sale, the specials, 2 for 1 here, 2 for 1 there. And I got to know him after a year, and he said, hey, he asked me, he's like, would you like a job? He's like, I'd love you to come work with me. You're a great salesman. Now, you would think this is the Amway, the Quickstar part of it. It's actually not, because this was before Quickstar.
Real quick, last time I'm going to say this. Thumbs up the stream. 30 of y'all have not done it. Come on, bro. It's free. It's free, and it takes 0.5 seconds.
So he actually worked for a company that sold a lot of, medical oxygen, welding supplies, and that type of stuff. So I was like, yeah. I'd be interested in being a salesman, being on the road and selling stuff. He's like, you're a great salesman. You can sell ice cream to an Eskimo. So I think I said, yeah. I went and I interviewed, and I didn't get the job. And then I would say maybe a month or 2 later, he came back in, and he's like, listen, the guy that we hired, the owner wanted to go with him, and he got arrested for drunk driving or something. I don't know what it was. And he said, so I want you to have the job. So this is a job that was pretty commission-based. I made, minimum wage, but I got 10% of the net. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'll just put it to you this way. When you're selling medical oxygen, it costs us maybe $1. I think it cost $1.79 to fill one of these tanks of oxygen, which was 244 cubic foot. It was the most common. Now, there was many different types of, gases. There was argon, there was stargon, nitrogen, acetylene, CO2, nitrous oxide. There was different size cylinders. There was a bunch of stuff that we sold. But just to, for basis, just to kind of go over my salary, it'd be, I made about $1.79 per cylinder. We sold them for $20, and I made about $1.79 for every one I sold. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when I was a guy that was very diligent. I always wanted to be the best. I'm a competitive guy. And, back in 1995, 96, the internet was prehistoric. It wasn't like it was now. You couldn't find stuff. So what I did was I kind of looked in the phone book back then, and I looked at a lot of the competitors or places that would buy this stuff or sell the stuff, rather, in this a certain mile radius, maybe 75, 100-mile radius. And what I would do is I would go into my competitors, and I'd ask them what they sold their products for. And that way I had an idea of what I could do when I went to try to sell this stuff to other people. And I found that a lot of the places that were our competitors were selling this stuff for a lot more than we were selling it for. So it was an easy sale. Where I found money was in nursing homes. I sold a lot to nursing homes. You could sell 100 a week. You could sell 500 a month. And when you have 2 or 3 of those, what's up, buddy? Your tooth come out?
Aw, that's sweet.
All right. Well, I'll be up in a minute. What's a minute? I don't know. I'll be up in a minute. Come here. Sorry, guys. I told you he's dealing with a tooth thing. Come here.
By the way, happy belated Father's Day to all the good dads out there. Bad Dog, happy belated Father's Day to you. And it's good we're watching this after Father's Day because I can wish a happy belated Father's Day to our 2 favorite deadbeat dads, Scott and Peter, as well. Aww. So happy Father's Day to you guys as well.
Which one is it?
If we can interrupt, why don't you go spend a few minutes with your son, and then Scott and I will talk, and then you come back when you come back. Because, it's your son. It's your son. It's his tooth. Yeah. It's a big thing, and this is not that important.
Peter trying to redeem himself in terms of appearing fatherly way too late in the game.
So come back when you come back. Scott and I have plenty of stuff to talk about.
Okay, we'll do. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
By the way, Bad Dog said his other one came out tonight too. Your son's tooth. I get 20% of that as well. So the Tooth Fairy money from this day and today, I need 20% of that as well. So you can put it with the bag that when you win the bodybuilding competition, you could just bundle it in with that. But I will be doing the calculation to make sure, make sure it's right. You don't want me to send the GRS after you, the Goon Revenue Service. You don't want that. Trust me.
Take your time. So Scott, we'll give him some time. If this is his son and he's got a loose tooth, and you remember what those.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Did you have some in particular? I was going to bring up the Illuminati story.
Sure, let's do it.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to bring up the Illuminati story. Did you want to talk about something else?
Listen to them talk over each other. I was going to talk about the Illuminati story. Do you want to talk about anything else?
Nope.
Hi, welcome to Burger King. What can I get for you? Burger King has the worst quality box receiver of any.
That's fine. I'm keeping his mic open, so we might hear background noise on his side if he has background noise on his side.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all.
Bad Dog says the kid gets $10 a tooth, so I get $4. A win is a win. A win is a win. I'm taking it.
So bring people
like you said, I'm on the road.
Who that is.
All right, are you ready to go?
Yeah, you're ready.
Okay, great. So like I said earlier, I am on the road, so I don't have access to all the information like I normally do. But we've been going back and forth in the background a little bit over the past week or two about this Illuminati drama, and it's really quite remarkable. typical, and it's so typical of the anti-MLM Huns. And for people who don't...
Oh, he means the YouTuber, the Illuminati. I thought he was talking about, like, because, you know, they're pretty far on the, like, right-wing QAnon type shit. I thought he was talking about, like, the Illuminati, like Hillary Clinton eating babies and being a lizard type shit. Okay, all right. I'm actually super out of touch when it comes to this Illuminati. Listen, the anti-MLM Huns, as Scott and Peter call them, and Dominic Izzo, only seem to actually stir up conversation when there is drama involved. When it comes to actual activism, I don't see nobody doing anything. I'm just going to keep it honest. Thank you, X Gonzalez. Appreciate you. Goon Squad, Newt, definitely. Where's the button? Thank you for that. When there's drama, all the ladies get together and they go, what's the tea? What's the tea? I am not involved in the tea. I'm completely out of the loop when it comes to any of the personal drama between any of the creators. I just do my own thing. So I guess Scott and Peter are going to inform me right now.
I don't understand the term anti-MLM Huns. It's very common for anti-MLMers to talk about the MLM people as Huns. And the reason they do that, it's not because they're Huns in the traditional definition of the term, right? Those savages in Europe. It's really because it's often when, particularly women, approach other women to get into their MLM, you know, they'll write them a little message on social media and say, hey, hon, I was just seeing how you're doing, and so on and so forth. And so they call them Huns. You know, the anti-MLMers call them Huns. Well, we also call the anti-MLMers Huns because we find, or at least I find, that they're just as off base as the MLMers themselves. And so they're both Huns, and that's why we call them anti-MLM Huns.
We call them anti-MLM Huns. That's what they call them.
This person on YouTube called Illuminati, and she has a different spelling for it than you would imagine. It's actually Illuminati, and I think there's two I's at the end. So it's something like...
KB says, this is way more than anti-MLM drama, not a reflection of the community. That's fair. However, what is a reflection of the community is the fact, and this is a fact, that nobody can seem to get along. Everybody has beef with each other. I've talked about this before. Despite the fact, and I have no beef with anyone, I have love for everyone. Despite the fact that literally any anti-MLM woman's social media, if you go on it, and you you spent a week watching all of their Instagram stories, even the ones who have beef with each other, you will see they are aligned on all of the same things, all of the same political values, social values, you know, pictures of their kids and their husbands and their dogs and their cats. They agree on everything, but somehow still manage to have beef with each other. That is absolutely unexplainable to me. I can't, you know, and it makes it hard for me to defend in retrospect. Like, I know if I ever have another debate with Dominic Izzo on my channel, he's going to hit me with that and be like, now do you see that all these women just can't get along? And I hate to give it to him, but it really does make it seem that way when everybody is supposedly united on anti-MLM as well as everything else, and they still can't get along with each other. And I get canceled by them for, you know, my whole Trump thing and saying Trump's a good public speaker and it's triggering and whatever. It's like, damn, bro. Can't we all just get along? Lean on me. Y'all gonna get me. When you're not strong. You know I can sing. And I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. I haven't even warmed up, is the thing. That's the craziest part. But anyways... Sorry for the side rant, but we do a little ranting. It's called a little ranting.
ILLUM NAUGHTII, something like that. You'll find her easily. If you put in any spelling that's close to it in anti-MLM, I'm sure it will pop up on YouTube, and you can see her video.
An image of I think it's like a triangle, which is what most people would consider a pyramid, and I think there's an eye in there as well. So it's kind of like a blue.
Yeah, an eye in a triangle. Yeah.
Who's my favorite anti-MLM YouTuber? Glenn.
The pyramid, that's her head is the triangle, and she's well known. She has a lot of followers, and not just people that have followed her. Like some anti-MLM Huns, they have a lot of followers but very few viewers. It's almost like saying, hey, I have 100,000 people that have television sets, but only 3,000 of them watch my program. That's the difference between a follower and a viewer. And so I don't pay much attention to the followers. It's really the viewers, because a lot of people might come across somebody's account, their stories or whatever, and they'll say, oh, this looks interesting, I'm going to follow them. And they might watch one or two of their videos and say, nah, this isn't that interesting, and they just...
For moral support and goon tax.
Thank you, Beefy Queen. Thank you. Is this who I think it is? Let me check the donation history here. Beefy Queen. I love it and hate it at the same time. It doesn't tell me the actual username for who Beefy Queen. We call her Beefy Queen. Well, thank you, Beefy Queen, if it is who I think it is. Great name. Great name.
Go away. They don't unfollow them. They just go away. They never watch them again, or very rarely they watch them. And so that's the difference. And it's a big difference. I pay a lot more attention to the number of viewers than I do the followers for that reason. But she's got a lot of followers and viewers. But she has, over the years, been somewhat controversial because...
Can someone give me the TLDR, too long didn't read, on Illuminati? What happened? She was rude? Is it like an Ellen DeGeneres type thing where she was rude to her staff or her editors or whatever the fuck? But is that it? I'm out. I'm out.
She throws her weight around, and particularly with other YouTubers, and particularly even more, the ones that are smaller than her following, which is most of them, right? Because she does have, if not the largest following, one of the largest followings. And so she's been known to be kind of nasty towards these people.
I kind of love that everybody is cannibalizing each other because it makes more room for the cult to grow. Good, good. Everybody, hey, I've changed my tune. At the beginning of the year, I said, I've taken a year off of MLM content. If I come back, I'm going to commit to it 100% and be the absolute GOAT like I was before when I wasn't even focused on it. The biggest videos, the biggest, most viewed exposés. I'm the only guy still to this day who has ever, thank you, Jimmy Moon. I'm still, as far as I know, feel free to correct me, the only guy who has made expose videos about MLMs where I actually go in person to confront people. WFG Part 4, I'm holding the sign. Do a pyramid formation, talking shit face-to-face in person. Greg, why'd you take my video down? Going to meetings with the hidden spy pen camera and like wearing my sunglasses and my COVID mask to like disguise myself. I'm the only person that I know does this, and it is wildly entertaining, and you're gonna see that in the new video as well. I have changed my mind. Instead of what my initial thought was, my initial philosophy at the beginning of the year, which is I'm going to come back, I'm going to build my channel, and I'm going to bring everyone with me. Anyone who wants to collab, reach out to me, and we will do a video together. I don't care if you have 1,000 subscribers. I did a collab with Julie Anderson. I think she had less than 1,000 subscribers. I could be wrong. Less than 2,000 for sure. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, and I was like, let's go. Shout out to Julie Anderson, by the way. Much love. Then I seen everybody fucking beefing with each other and cannibalizing each other, and it was only a matter of time before I got canceled for saying that Trump was a good speaker and that I thought he was funny. That was obvious. That was apparently not okay. And now even with this Illuminati thing, like maybe it is deserved. I'm not doubting that at all. And maybe it deserved to have a light shun on it. Sure. I'm just saying, I'm calling a spade here. Drama is, if I was to visualize the pie chart in my mind of what the overall anti-MLM community spends their time on, it's beef, at least from what I've seen. And, when I put this new video out, you will see what I have been focused on for the past 6 months. By the time it comes out, it'll have been 6 months. We call it 6 months. And I think it is one of the best. It's the best thing I've ever done, absolutely. And I hope that it inspires more people to maybe unify or maybe, focus on what at least what I think is really important, which is helping people to not be scammed. Isn't that why we're all doing this? Of course, to run the cult and get bags and all that stuff, of course. But ultimately to help people so that some 19-year-old guy or girl out there doesn't end up having the same experience that I had when I was 19, and my best friend at the time calls me and says, hey, I'm in this thing, World Financial Group, come to a meeting, check it out. And then it leads to the, undoing of the friendship. That's really at the heart of why I am doing this. And that's why my initial attitude at the beginning of the year was, let me help everybody. Because I wrongly assumed that everybody else was in it for the same noble reason. And I have to concede the point. And I know Scott and Peter will celebrate this, and Dominic Izzo will celebrate this. I have to concede the point that doesn't seem to be what the genuine underlying concern is of, the rest of the general community. And again, it is not a dig at anyone. I wish everybody would come together. And if they do, and if somebody reaches out to me in good faith and says, hey, dude, we, I want to also separate from this, and I this is what I'm working on, and I would love it if you could help and share your platform and maybe collab on something. I would love to. How hypocritical of me would it be to build my channel to 60,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers and never lend my platform to anyone else who's trying to help and do the same thing? It would be completely backwards and completely counter to what my whole philosophy around this shit is. And we have fun and we have a silly goose time and we do the Trump thing. But ultimately, that's why I'm trying to do this. Genuinely, I'm trying to help people. I'm also the only anti-MLM YouTuber, as far as I know, I could be wrong, who has actually done such effective damage to a singular company that they have taken the measures to try to silence and sue me into obscurity, or have people, paid assassins like Jarek Chin at my gym try to go to the manager and say made up stories about me to try to get me kicked out of the gym. Like, why are we fighting each other? Let's go. There's so many bad guys out there. David Imonitier is still free. Alex Morton is still free. What are we doing? So again, sorry for the rant. I see Glenn agrees with me. We call it Glenn agrees. That's all that matters. And I couldn't even tell you names. And I'm not trying to get into this because I don't want, I can already see it. Some anti-MLM creator takes a clip from my stream and makes a whole 30, 45-minute, hour-long video reacting to this rant and saying why I'm problematic and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm not even trying to get into it. I got love for everybody. Everybody knows how I, my capability when I go on the offensive and when I really want to, go at my enemies. I don't think anybody wants the smoke, and I'm not even serving it back because it's counterintuitive. I'm not willing to share my platform with someone much smaller than myself for negative reasons to beef them. But if somebody who's just starting out wants to collaborate and has a good idea and is actually has genuine pure intentions to help people, I will absolutely do what I can to help them. No question about it. So anywho, sorry for the rant. Sorry. All right, I'm going to read your comments real quick. All right, let's continue this.
People, and I don't know the particulars of the latest thing. There was a rumor about, I think you know more about this, Peter. I'll let you kind of expand on the latest controversy with Illuminati, and then we'll get back into it. Go right ahead.
I'm back, guys. I'm back. Toothberry will be visiting tonight.
Okay, we'll just continue then. Is the tooth out?
Yes, we're good.
Cool. Which one is this one?
He lost his bottom 2 teeth like a year ago.
Theo Vaughn says, Marco's favorite type of weed is cocaine. So true. Thank you. We call it cocaine.
The top 2. They're actually both loose. One came out, the other one's loose, so he's going to lose them both. He lost one. He's going to lose the other one pretty soon, too.
So this is like his third tooth, huh?
Yes, third tooth.
Good.
So, like I was saying, when you're selling 100 cylinders, 150 cylinders a week and making $1.79 profit on those alone, and then you have 3 and 4 of them that you constantly deliver to, I was making good money. I was making a lot of money, especially for a kid that's 19 years old. It was a lot of money for me. And, you know, I don't have the nickname Bad Dog for no reason. I partied a lot. I was a big partier. I ripped through my money. I was invincible. It just seemed like, you know.
I want to say to Sheila. Sheila says other creators have taken down companies. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. And Sheila says it's okay if you are hurt. I'm not hurt, but you are actually stirring up the drama. I disagree. I am speaking against drama. I want everyone to love each other and help each other. Nobody is talking about you in a negative way as far as I know. This is where I have to offer you a correction and say that, yes, there was somebody in the community who went to great lengths to talk bad about me on Instagram stories, and it led to several people in the community unfollowing me without ever talking to me to try to get my side, and it's just the way it goes. So, but that's the truth. And again, apologies if I was wrong about other creators. Well, I actually didn't say no other creators have taken down companies. I said that as far as I know, no other creators have pushed an MLM to the point of the MLM suing them. But it's semantics. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And yes, Sheila, somebody did talk bad about me, but I'm not stirring it up because I'm not saying names, and I think it's pretty clear. I'm actually saying that I don't like that people beef with each other when we could be doing so much good together.
I make all this money. I feel great. I'm going to do whatever I do. Nobody can touch me. Stupid 19-year-old stuff. I mean, 19-year-olds think they know it all. We think we're grown. We don't. And I always say 47-year-old me would beat the hell out of 19-year-old me. So, I had this job for a good 3-4 years making all this money, and then one day the owner took ill, and his daughter.
Thank you, V. Elizabeth White. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. All right, I'll stop talking about it. I'll stop talking about it.
Daughter sold the company up underneath us, and I was out of a job 2 days. I had 2 days' notice. You're done. Sold the company for pennies on the dollar. She had no idea what it's worth. I had no job. So there goes all the money. There goes all the partying. There goes everything. And I had nothing to show for it because I was an idiot. So I ended up working for a supply company that just kind of, sold the same type of stuff. It was just like hard goods, though, and I ran a warehouse in the East Coast, and I just shipped stuff, and I might have made a quarter of what I was making at the other place. So you get humbled real quick. At that time, when I'd had that job, I met would be my wife, 23 years ago or whatever. And, she moved in with me.
What up, Jimmy? Appreciate you.
And we were scraping by. We were scraping by. She was in college. We were just scraping by, barely able to pay the bills. We were in debt, all this stuff you hear about.
What up, Panda? And
I remember a buddy of mine came to me, and he didn't lie about this. He didn't.
Sheila, I encourage you to rewind the stream. I was only talking about what I have seen. And granted, to be fair, I don't watch a lot. I'm busy making my own content, so I don't watch a ton. But just from what I have seen, and I could be wrong, in all fairness, from what I have seen, if I was to think of the pie chart of what the anti-MLM community generally spends their time on, it's beef with each other. And again, I could be wrong. I am open to being wrong. That is just what maybe it's just the stuff I happen to hear about. But again, I could be wrong. I am not stirring up drama. I am against drama. It's for this reason. I have never named anybody. I have never had beef with anybody. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's productive. The drama needs to stop. Love, love, love. Hugs and kisses. Lean on me.
He wasn't vague about anything. He just said, hey, how's it going? I heard this and this and this. And he's like, I'm doing really good with Quickstar. Now, I didn't know what Quickstar was. I had no idea. I didn't know what Amway was. I heard of Amway, but I didn't know what it was.
Jorge, thank you. Did he say anything with that? Just silent killer. Just a silent killer. Jorge, thank you, bro. Really appreciate that. You are a G.
I knew nothing about multi-level marketing. I knew nothing about any of this stuff. And when he told me what he did, I'm like, oh, man, I'm a salesman. I mean, this is what I do. I can make this work.
And about what year was this?
This was late 2002. I want to say this is about the summer of 2002, probably July. So, you know, the reason is, you know, there would be nights that I would stay up and I would just be like, you know, thinking to myself, I wasn't like depressed or anything, but I'd sit up and think to myself, you know, why didn't I just save money? Why wasn't I smarter? I had a lot of regrets as to why I didn't, because when I was doing all this, I was a single guy. It was just me. I didn't really have a care in the world. But when you're getting serious, you know, and thinking about marriage, you're like, God, I wish we had nicer things. And that's what I wanted. So I, you know, a couple of things that I did keep. I bought a Rolex. I still have that today. It's 23 years old. Still keeps great time. And I had a couple of Armani suits. They don't fit anymore because I'm just a different size than I was back then.
Beefed up.
He told me, he said, hey.
The only beef I want to see is getting beefed up like Bad Dog Sports when he wins this motherfucking fitness competition. And me when my T-shirts get a little too tight. That's what I want to. That's the only beef I want to see. And the bags from Beefy Queen who donated.
There's a meeting tonight. He goes, let's go to it, and we'll just sign you up. It was always I don't remember the hotel. It was a hotel lobby. It was every Tuesday night. It was $10 to get in. And he's like, wear your suit, you know, wear your watch, wear all this stuff. And I'm like, whatever, okay. So I walk into the place, and I remember my upline Ruby's wife was, I don't want to use names because I don't know who this, I don't want to use their names or anything. But Scott, you know what I was in. I was in LTD because I told you that the guy on the NBC Dateline was my upline Diamond, so you know what I'm talking about. She's like, oh, you look really nice, blah, blah, blah. And so I get into the lobby, and I'm a pretty good read of people. And I can remember this like it was yesterday, and a lot of these are vague because this was over 20 years ago, you know, so some of the details get a little sketchy, but there's definitely things that stand out. When I first walked into that lobby, I remember seeing a bunch of guys that were younger than me.
Daniel, what a great comment. He says, who cares about a... Daniel in the chat. I like how committed the cult is. I love you guys, for real. Y'all are hilarious. Oh. Daniel says, who cares about the drama? ... Drop a bag. Wow. So funny. Yeah, and nothing burger beef. True. And nothing burger beef. Yeah. By the way, a couple of you guys sent me pictures of... the Always Marco merch, alwaysmarcomerch.com merchandise that you got. Some of you have this anti-pyramid printed tee. Some of you have the embroidered cult member tee. Really means a lot. It makes me laugh to think about you guys wearing shirts that say cult member, like walking around. Like, are y'all wearing those outside the house? Like, hilarious to me. I did it as a meme, but fuck it.
26 at the time, so it's not like I was an old guy, but compared to these guys, I was old. They were all 18, 19, 20. None of their suits fit. It was like they bought them off a rack. They weren't tailored. They weren't nice. They were all walking around with excess energy drinks. I can remember that like it was yesterday. And I'm not knocking that product. I actually liked that. I actually thought excess energy drinks were competitively priced, and I thought that they were better than Red Bull. And I don't even know.
Okay, Mars clears her name and says that she is not Beefy Queen. She is just Muscle Mommy. All right, well, the investigation continues.
Monster was out back then, but I thought that they were good energy drinks. But they all had them, those bright cans, and there had to be 12 to 15 guys and girls that came up to me and said the same exact thing. And they weren't like in a line or anything. They came from different sides of the room. Oh, nice to meet you. Best decision you ever made. We're going to make a lot of money together. Nice to meet you. Best decision you ever made. And I just thought that was weird, that everybody acted exactly the same and said the same thing. It was just a weird dichotomy in that room, and I couldn't put my finger on it at the time. So I sign up. I do my thing.
LOL Panda. On Tuesdays at Nothing Burger, we have the Bring Your Own Beef special. We call it Bring Your Own Beef. We call it Bring Your Own Beef. What if I send a pic of a Always Marco gay shirt? Wow, do it. Killikina has worn the cult member shirt out. I'm extra like that. I love it. Jared says, I wear my cult member t-shirt anywhere and everywhere. High quality and comfy. Get yourself one here. https://alwaysmarcomerch.com. We are not responsible for any side effects.
I would pass the gas station every day to work, and I started talking to this woman there about what having energy drinks. She said her son likes energy drinks, so I got a customer almost immediately. She was buying a case of that from me every week, pretty much, and it cost me, I think, $23 as an Amway a Quick Start IBO, and I sold it for $30. So I made $7 profit, and then I got the PV or whatever. The vitamins were overpriced. I remember they were garbage vitamins. They were very overpriced. There's a guy that's into health and nutrition. They were
Thumbs up the stream if you're against garbage vitamins.
Overpriced garbage. Their laundry detergent sucked. I remember that. It was extremely overpriced. Oh, but it's good for the it's good for the atmosphere. It was overpriced trash. I remember the products just weren't very competitively priced, and I remember trying to sell them, and it was difficult. And I remember trying to sell people on this opportunity, and people were like, "It sounds like Amway." I kept getting that. It sounds like Amway. And again, I really didn't know what the hell Amway was, because again, back in 2002, even
Bad Dog, I just want to say I can't wait until you guys get into the back and forth when you wrap up your origin story. I cannot wait till y'all get into the back and forth arguments and mentioning always stupid narco. The Moochagoon, whatever.
Internet's not what it is today, so it was hard to find information on this. And if I'm not mistaken, Quickstar got in trouble for Google bombing, where they would push all their positive reviews to the top. I thought there was something on that. So it was tough to find negative reviews on that. But, I remember telling
Panda, appreciate you. Nobody ever questions the suddenly shirt. Thank you, Panda. Appreciate it. KB says we don't need to inflate Marco's ego. Nonsense. Inflate it. And I have self-esteem issues. Inflate it. At Nothing Burger, you're required to stand around and eat the burger, saying, "This is a great burger." So true. We call it great burger. Nobody knows burgers like me. It's unbelievable. You look at what happened under Biden. There's no more burgers. So true. All right. Silicon Valley, Tuesday, bring your own beef special. You bring your beef to us. You bring it. We look at it. We talk about it. We do nothing with it. So many good jokes in the chat today. System brings garbage to the vitamins. So true. I wore my no pyramid shirt on my Sunday hospital run, and a single nurse asked if I was against pyramid scams. That's sick. See, before I made it this design with like the multi-tiered triangle, it was just a triangle with the cross. And people would see me wear it, and a couple times I was asked, like, "Are you against Egypt?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's like a political thing." So I had to make it more clear that I'm against, multi-level pyramid schemes. But that's dope. Thank you, Beyond. Let me see. I'm reading your comments. What up, Eliza? I mentioned you a few times. Can't wait. Thumbs up the Ting guy. Almost 200 viewers, and only 12 of y'all haven't clicked like, but it's okay, Peace out, A. Louise Mac. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. You are the GOAT, for real. Were they able to name one MLM company done right? You'll see. Here we go. Amway played the exact same trick on me and my father, says Glenn. They told us it was A2K, not Amway. Greasy. Oh, new merch order from alwaysmarcomerch.com.
Marco!
And it is to Laura. We love to see it. Woo, with the orange cult member tee. Hello. Highly visible. It's highly visible. We call it highly visible.
my upline, I'm like, listen, man, I'm having a hard time getting people to join this, to become distributors. And he's like, just, let me come with you. And one thing I always remember him saying, too, if they turn me down, I always remember him, he would say, stay broke. I remember that, too.
Wow.
Stay broke. Just stay broke.
That reminds me, Bad Dog, your story of the guy saying stay broke whenever you ask a question reminds me of in my ACN video. You guys know I love to talk about my ACN video. I truly believe it is the most viewed video on my channel for good reason. It is so good. But in that video, Nathan says, blah, blah, blah. He's mocking people who are talking bad about ACN. Blah, blah, blah. It won't work. Pyramid scheme this. And he says, you know what I tell people when they say that? You're right. You be right. I'll be rich. Mwah. Such a beautiful villain thing to say. Such a real life Batman villain thing to say. You be right, I'll be rich. Richard Bliss Brooks. Yeah, man. Stay broke. What a fucking cock to say, like, to say that to somebody, you know? So douchey.
Broke then. You know, I said, well, what if they ask me how much money I'm making when I'm not making any money? I'm losing money. He's like, just tell them it's not where you are now. It's where you're going. They had a response for everything. You know, so I'm just struggling. You know, I'm struggling. I'm going to these meetings every week. I'm making very limited sales, and I'm not making any money. I'm losing money. I'm not losing a ton, but I'm losing it. This is, and I'm already financially, I'm in pretty bad shape, so this is not helping me. And this went on for about a year, and I remember him wanting me to go to this big function. And Scott, I told you, that was the one that NBC Dateline actually showed. I think that was 2003. He wanted me to go to that one. And it was like $500. I'm like, dude, I can't afford that. I can't afford $500 to go there. You got to go to this thing. You got to go to it. You got to go to it. And he gives me a bunch of tapes. Every time we go someplace, he'd have a tape in his tape deck. He's like, listen to Charlie D'Urso. Charlie D'Urso's an Italian New York guy, man. That's your guy. That's your guy. Just listen to this. Listen to this. He'll get you motivated. This is supposed to motivate you. So there's back to your tool scam, which they obviously run. I'm like, dude, I can't go to this thing. And guys, I'll never forget this as long as I live. I'm working one day, right? And again, I'm the only one in my warehouse. The main company was in a different state. They just sent product to me, and I shipped it up and down the East Coast. My upline Ruby comes in there one day, and he says, I heard you're not going. And I said, man, I don't have the money to go. And he goes, you know, you have a bunch of goods and services that you could be selling. You could make the money. Or you could just, you know, put it on your credit card. I'm like, I don't have the money to go. I'm not going. I don't have the money to go. He goes, maybe you stop. I had like Pepsi sitting on the desk or whatever. He's like, maybe you stop drinking that, or you didn't do this, and you do that, you have the money. Like, he was berating me at my job. The balls in this guy to come into me and talk to me like I'm a child.
The fucking balls on this guy. This guy calls me and has the balls to talk about coffee. Sorry, I'm just using all the New York sounds I can use. The first fucking thing he says to me is, maybe if you didn't drink a Pepsi Cola every day, you'd have money to be successful in Amway. You think about that tough guy, Baddog Sports, drinking coffee, Starbucks, $10 every day, talking to the balls, chocolate. This hurts my voice. The fucking, where is it? Hold on. The fucking
balls
on this guy. He called me at the office. I was with my cousin Carlo. He said, what are you talking about? The first thing he says to me is, maybe if you wasn't spending so much $10 on coffee, you'd have enough money to make it out of Brooklyn. That's the first thing he said to me. I love the New York accent.
Like he's my father. And tell me what I can and can't do with my money was bullshit.
Telling me what I can and can't do with my $10. I'm walking here. Get a load of this motherfucker. Yeah, Paulie. I was with Paulie and I was with Carlo, and they told me together, back the blue. I don't know. I'm just saying shit that I think a guy who sounds like that from New York would say that. A tape deck. What is it? Anyways. Thank you, Daisy, saying you love my voices. He does voices. We call them voices. We call them voices. Bing bong. Yeah. I'm reading your comment. Would you find the money? Yeah, Jimmy loves this one. I've seen Jimmy in the chat say this one before, because Jimmy used to be an MLM for a long time. Would you find the money if someone put a gun to your head? The Nets are going to lose this season. The fucking, what's the baseball team? The Yankees. We're talking about the fucking Yankees. This fucking guy. Robert De Niro. This fucking Guido Trump. We call it big balls. We call it great. You got big balls. We call it big balls. We call it who the fuck are you talking to? Schizophrenic. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, talking about coffee, and the first thing you say to me is, if I wasn't spending so much on Pepsi Cola, I'd be able to go ahead and advance through the ranks of Amway. That's what you're telling me? Sonny, Guido, Angelo, Mikey, Tommy, all of the guys were there. Marco, Angelo, Tommy 2 times, Mick the Shoe, Petey the Piper, we called him. We called him Petey the Piper, Angelo the Bull, we called him Angelo the Bull. All the guys were there at the shop. They came down to the corner. The first thing they said to me was, "What the fuck are you talking about? Bring me a coffee, the Aki way." Just New York sounds all messed up in like a file folder being played at the same time. And now my voice is hurting. All right. Get a grinder at the corner deli. Sorry. Listen, I'm reading your... I was in Amway for 2 years and walked away with ugats. I went down to the corner. I went down to Sal's Pizza. Marron, it's the fucking classics. I went down to the corner to get the slice of abits. I told him, "Paulie, come on, Poppy, we don't have a pepperoni?" He said, "Nah, I only got the vegetarian." I said, "If I'm going with the vegetarians, the liberals and the vegetarians, they're coming in every element of my life. They're everywhere. I can't escape them. What do I do? What do I do, God?" I'm sweating.
And that really pissed me off a lot. And I remember calling my upline. I said, "Listen, dude, I'm done." I'm like, this guy just came in here for a half an hour and scolded me about the fact that I'm not able to afford to go to this stupid thing and whatever. And he's like, he's like, "Just calm down. You know, it's all right, man. You don't need to go. It's not a big deal." He's like, just relax. Listen to Dave Severn. You like him. Just listen to the tape. Just relax and focus and all this crap. So because he's my friend, I don't leave. And, I'm trying, and it's just not working. It's just not working. So maybe a couple months later, there's a function or whatever in Rochester, which is not too far. It's about 4 hours.
Jimmy Moon says, Jimmy the Downline Kaczynski, they called him. We had Jimmy the Downline Kaczynski. We had Mikey the Mentor Makopoulos. We had I wasn't brainwashed. I washed their brains. Sorry, I'm having too much fun with this. Y'all putting MLM lingo into, touch them 2 times into the story. We called him front loading. We called him Frankie the front loader. That's what we called him. We called him Comp Plan Carlo. That's what we called him. We called him Forced Matrix Mikey. That's what we called him.
It was a one-day thing. And he's like, "Man, there's this thing in Rochester. It's one day. We can drive down. We can drive back." And again, I'm like, "Dude, I don't have $100. I can't go." He's like, "Listen, I'll pay for your ticket. Just pay me back when you get the money." So I accept. And I'm like, "All right, I guess I can go. It's not a big deal." It was a Saturday. My wife actually went to Ozfest in either Connecticut or Vermont. So I was like, "All right, perfect." She's not home, so I'll go. And it's funny, guys. As the day approached, something told me not to go, and I didn't go. I was like, "You know what? I'm not going." He said he was going to pick me up at 11:30. It was like 11:45. He wasn't there. I'm like, "Good, he's not here." This story.
We call him garage qualified Guido. It's like the intro of Goodfellas. That was my life. We had Donnie the Downline. We had Donnie the Downline. We had Mikey. We had Mikey the Marketer. We had Multi-Level Mikey, we called him. We had Connie, his sister Connie, the con artist. We had Garage Qualified Guido. We had Multi-Level Mick. We had Comp Plan Carlo. We had all the guys. All my life, I knew I wanted to be a scammer. That would be the intro.
Kind of funny, to me anyway.
We're never gonna get through this fucking episode.
Looking back at it now, all of a sudden, 11:45, my phone rings.
Sorry, I'm sorry to keep interrupting, Bad Dog. But the fucking comments keep killing me. Panda, Tommy the Ambassador Giacolone. Nobody rolled a Stromboli like this motherfucker. Taproot Terry. Taproot Tommy. He really got around. He would get your mother in, your grandmother in, and all of their family members would follow suit. Mwah. He had it down to a fucking science. Wow, I gotta bring the song back. I gotta bring the song back. Hold on, let me give up some mobster music. Just some stereotypical mafia music. Here we go, ready? Oh no, this isn't really one. Just some Dean Martin song. Here we go. Listen, the most important thing you needed to know about me and the guys in my organization is no matter what, you couldn't say no to us. You wanted to stay broke? Fine. But what we're doing over here is building an empire. We're breaking generational curses. We had Brainwash Bobby, Pipeline Petey, Retail Sales Randy, Scammer Sally. We had so many, Tool Scam Tony, we had Brainwash Bobby, we had Tommy the MLM, Matador, we had Black Diamond Dickie, we had Touch 'em 2 times Tommy, we had Write This Down Wazowski, we had so many different people in the company, you couldn't turn your head on Brooklyn without being recruited. It was beautiful. We had it all. We had Sal the Tool Scam Montadello. We got Chester the Faith King. We had Garage Qualified Guido. We had Comp Plan Carlos. We had so many people in the business, and all of us were doing our part in the neighborhood, voting for Trump and backing the blue. That's what it was all about. This was the American dream. Oh my God. We had Pipeline Peter. He hired and fired himself from Amway 2 times. 2 times, can you believe it? Fuck. Oh my goodness. We had Dominic, Director of Marketing. It's too many. It's too many. Financial Freedom Freddy, he was no schmuck. Here we go, I gotta do it. This guy, Financial Freedom Freddy, he was no schmuck. Mans took $1 and turned it around and flipped it. You know, one thing about the family was you had the Don at the very top. Then you had the consiglieres. Then you had the sergeants and the lieutenants and all the different guys who ran the streets. But one thing about that, just like every corporation in America, it's a multi-level system. As a matter of fact, you couldn't point me to one sort of money-making endeavor that wasn't multi-level. So when people tried to tell us it was a scam, we kicked them in the head and we showed them what the real scam was. Crossing me and my guys. In New York, we don't play that shit. And then this guy, Bad Dog Sports, comes along. This motherfucker, the balls on this guy to call my cousin Compensation Plan Carlo. Oh, okay, anyways. Literally, it's taken, how long have I been streaming? 2 hours? And we're 30 minutes through the fucking, okay, an hour and 20. And we're 30 minutes through the video. You guys kill me with your name. You guys together are way faster than me by myself because, of course, there's almost 200 of y'all. Are you recruiting me? You recruited me. That's what he said? This fucking guy? No, you don't recruit me, motherfucker. I recruit you. You know that scene in Godfather where it's like, buy me out. You don't buy out Mo Green. I buy you out. The Corleone family's been kicking my ass for decades. You recruit me. I recruit you. Oh my God, a pyramid scheme mob movie. I actually have an idea for a series of like skits that will be on just like short minute-long things on TikTok called If McDonald's Was a Pyramid Scheme, where I like make it so that, you know, the cashier at McDonald's is actually being recruited, but it's not, you know, it's a pyramid scheme. It's an MLM model for McDonald's instead of traditional. But if the mob was a pyramid scheme, is so fucking funny to me. That is hilarious. Oh my God. 60 seconds, we call it 1 minute. We call it 12 people, we call it a dozen. 13, we call it a baker's dozen. Oh my God. Taproot Terry, that one killed me. Amazing. Tommy the Ambassador. Black Diamond Bobby. Wow. You write this down, Wazowski. I mean, you guys killed me with all these. Retail Sales Randy, Pipeline Petey, Brainwash Bobby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How did I find the music so fast? I'm prepared, bro. I'm a professional streamer. Upside Down Funnel Daryl. Amway Angelo. There was, oh, Panda's comments kill me. There was Jimmy the Comp. Hey, make sure to edify, pal. Oh, yeah, like when the camera's going around. Thank you, Even Stevens. This is some good gabagool. Totally. So you know the scene in the beginning of Goodfellas, right? Where it's like, hold on. There was Jimmy the Comp. Hey, make sure to edify, pal. Mikey Red Jacket Palmise. Great job on Ambassador Diamond, kid. And there was two-time Tommy. We called him that because he joined and left Amway 2 times. Stop the tool scam. Because you know how in Goodfellas, in the opening scene, he's going around and it's from his first person and he's narrating like, we had, you know, what's the one fucking guy's name? Anyways, we had Tommy to whatever, and then it'll have them say like a little ad lib, like, I'm going to get the papers. Oh, fuck. Oh, imagine somebody asking me what I do for work and then them seeing this. There was Taproot Tommy. You guys kill me. Compensation plan. I recruit you. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Financial fettuccine and pro bono provolone. We had a whole restaurant. Now my capo, that was Donnie the Neck Genovese. Real old school door-to-door. Oh my God. Oh my God. Duplication Donnie. Mindset Marty. You guys are killing me. You guys kill me. This is the funniest shit. Oh my God. My stomach hurts from laughing. Oh my God. Sally Tomato. Just making it up now. Get whacked. Thank you, Jimmy Moon. Oh my God. Oof. So funny, Panda. Oh my God, you guys kill me. Ask him how, Henry. Oh my God, peace out, Andrew. Ooh. High Vibes Freddy would just recruit anybody. A true killer. Fuck. Oh my God, Marco Ford Coppola, greatest director. We gotta invest. Let's do an audiobook read along. You guys are making me cry. Limiting Beliefs Larry. What up, Velvet? Bobby the Brainwash Babensky. Crown Ambassador Connie. Oh my goodness. I can't. Just put it on a credit card. Just put it on a credit card, Carlos. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Upline Part 2 is my favorite. I like how it switches between present day and the founding of Amway. Oh my goodness. Oh, my cheeks hurt. My face cheeks. All this from Baddog saying balls. The balls on this guy. Jimmy 2 times, Nicky Eyes, Pete the Killer, Freddie No Nose, Mikey Francesi. Yeah. Oh my God. You guys. Credence. Oh my God. Comrade Compression Kaczynski, Mindset Mauricio, Cold Call Craig, not Cold Call Craig, Higdon, how? Oh, and Ask Him How, Henry, how? Yeah, I got you. Oh my God, Cold Call Craig. Taproot Terry. Oh fuck.
Jarvis, the J-O-B. Oh my God! Take you out into a boat to steal your downline. Yeah. Somebody cross recruits your downline, and it's like the scene in Godfather 2 where Michael goes to Fredo, and he's like, "I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart." Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Oh fuck! Oh my God! Boss babe, I can't do it anymore. No more. Presentation Perry. Zoom call something. Zoom call Zambolo. Oh my goodness. What a great fucking segment. Somebody's got to clip that. Look at this. I got the fucking music open. All right. Let's go back. Sorry, Baddog. Respect to Baddog. Massive action, Mikey. Please stop. All right.
It's him. I don't answer it. I'm going to act like I'm not home. My car's not in the driveway. Oh. I'm acting like I don't want to go.
I know it was you, Peter. Stay broke, Sal. You refused to join. In the through the eyes of the scammers, Stay Broke Sal is just like a homeless fucking bum waving a cup because he never joined Amway. Aaron, the Amway money man. Oh, my voice is hurting. Between Trump and the mobster shit.
Changed my mind. They call back again. They call my house phone. They call my phone. They start banging at my doors. It's him and his platinum upline or whatever. They're knocking on my door. They knock on my front door. They knock on my side door. They knock on my back door. They're trying to get in. I can hear the knobs, the door knobs rustling.
Ray, the rebuttal Higdon. Oh my God, you guys, stop.
Like they're trying to open it, but my doors are locked. And I owned a duplex at the time. And my family members lived in the apartment next door to me. And I'm like, oh man, there's that door that leads from their apartment into mine. So I remember running over to that door really quick and locking it. And no kidding, a minute later, that door.
Oh, Bug had a good comment too. It was all fun and games until Tool Scam Tony came through and stole our show. Oh my God, the whole turf war in the movie is just about them trying to cross-recruit each other's downlines and shit. Oh my God.
Trying to get in my house. They're literally trying to open the door to get into my house. So I ran into my closet and I hid there till they left. That's insane that these guys would go to those kind of lengths to get into my house to see if I was there. I don't know what they were trying to do, but I'm like, that is really weird. Okay, and just so you know, I did end up paying the guy back eventually.
That's insane, bro. They was really trying to break down your fucking door. You've come to my fucking door.
Breaking and entering.
Yeah, it was just insane. I don't know what they were doing, okay? So there's that. So obviously, like I said, I'm losing money. These weird things are happening. And so he calls me maybe a couple of days later. He's like, where were you?
Appreciate you, Jimmy Moon. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Did somebody else donate that I missed? Jimmy Moon did. And, yeah, Jimmy Moon and Even Stevens, thank you. And Sheila. Oh, Sheila said, when did Sheila donate? At 8:02. She said, pledging my allegiance to the cult. I am sorry, I take it back. Marco is my leader. I think that was somebody donating. Okay, that wasn't actually Sheila. Never mind. LOL. Somebody impersonating Sheila.
I'm like, man, I go, you weren't there at 11:30. I'm like, I waited for you for like 10 minutes. You weren't there. I just went and played basketball, which was a lie, but whatever. I didn't want to go. So, he's like, well, that's all right. You know, they have this new drink coming out.
It's breaking and entering. Very astute observation, Scott. No kidding, Panda.
Some like a Gatorade thing that they had, an excess Gatorade type of thing. I forgot. I missed a part of the story. When my Ruby came into my job, he started talking to me about how my wife was in college at the time. And so, you know, she had college debt. She had books to pay. She was working part-time. It's not like she had a full-time job. And he's like, oh, well, you know, you didn't waste all that money in college. That's a waste of money. The guy's telling me, you know, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. And I'm like, who the hell are you to tell me or my wife what's a waste of money? Like, you're nobody to me. You're not a family member. You're not a friend. I don't know you from Adam. How can you say all this stuff about me or my wife? So, you know, I go to another meeting, and my buddy's like, bring your wife with you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of all over the place because this stuff's kind of coming back to me. And like I said, these details are a little sketchy. But he says, bring your wife with you to one of the meetings. So I bring her to one of the meetings. one of those Tuesday meetings, and immediately she's like, I don't like those people. She's like, it's weird. I don't like it. I told my buddy, I'm like, my wife's not on board, man. Or she wasn't my wife. She was my fiance at the time. She's not on board, man. She thinks it's weird, whatever. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. The next week, I show up there, and the Upline Platinum says, where's your wife? I go, she don't want to come. And I'm like, she's not really into this. She doesn't really think it's a good idea. And the guy says to me, he's like, oh, well, if she's
Oh my God! This one comment from Panda where he's doing the whole intro, Amway Angelo, where he's doing the whole intro to the intro scene of Goodfellas, Jimmy the Comp, and then in parentheses, y'all seen this comment right from Panda where he puts there was Jimmy the Comp, and then in parentheses, hey, make sure to edify, pal. That was so like how fucking quick can you be, Panda? So funny. Great job on the Ambassador Diamond, kid. Oh, fuck. What a stupid fucking thing to do for a living, me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Just bullshitting. Just bullshitting. I don't know you from Amway Adam. I don't know you from a fucking hole in the wall. Oh, my God. Whew, I'm going to be laughing about that later, honestly. Oh, what's this? Another merch order from alwaysmarcomerch.com? From Hopi Nay. Appreciate you, Hopi Nay. Ooh, that cult member tee. That gray cult member tee. We love. You guys. This is so stupid. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. Oh, my face is literally hurting, man.
Not willing to support you, then maybe you need to be with somebody else if she can't support your dreams. Now, I know Scott's called me a New York tough guy, and I'm definitely not a New York tough guy. But in that moment, I had to restrain myself with all my might to not just thunder punch the guy in the throat, to tell me who I should be with and who I shouldn't be. The woman that was with me at my lowest point in my life, losing money, barely scraping by, living in a one-bedroom apartment, she's there to support me through all this. She just
Hold on, my aunt is calling me. Hello? Hi, how are you? Good, good. What are you doing? Ooh. Streaming. It's Tuesday, but I'm doing a little bonus stream because I had to end the Saturday one early because I was going to that family event. Yeah. No, it's okay. You just calling me to tell me that you love me and you admit that I look buff in my t-shirts these days? Oh, okay. I'll. Aw. No one can hear you. Aw. Aw, I love you too. Okay, I'll call you after if you're not passed out on the couch. Okay, bye. Bye. Aw, my aunt is sweet. My aunt is sweet. We had a disagreement on the phone earlier, and she called me to tell me she still loves me.
Do you like me?
So that's good. There was compliance Craig. Be compliant Craig. Johnny says, this is the hardest I've laughed in a long time. Oh, me too. Essential oil Eddie. Oh, my God. We had Herbalife Harry. or Herbalife Ernie, if you don't want to say the H sound. Glenn says, I can relate. My upline were absolutely desperate to get me to the $235 event. They kept saying it was going to change my life. David the Spray Imonitier. So funny. Whew. My niece, KB says, did she get the role? My niece has not got a call back yet. They said it's going to take a few weeks, so. FTC Franny had to shut down the whole operation. Oh, my God. Even Timeshare Tony made it out to the big event. He was no stay broke joke. No stay homie baloney. This guy put the pastrami in the salami all day. You guys, I really can't with the mobster shit anymore. It's too funny. What's my niece's next tool scam they were going to run on me? I have no clue. The other day, they tried to not give me an Oreo when they were all having Oreos. So that was the scam they tried to spin on me, but all good.
Didn't like it. And for that guy to tell me you can't be with her, I literally wanted to strangle him.
Peace out, Walter Turner. So, Bad Dog, to get this straight, the guy, the potential upline who was trying to recruit you in Amway was telling you shouldn't be with your wife because she wasn't supportive of the Amway dream. I mean, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I've unfortunately seen it far too many times.
And by the way, that's very common advice that the upline gives. You're not in any way unusual in that respect.
Yeah. So I just, it really made me mad. So I'm pretty much at my breaking point. But this was the coup de grace, okay? That energy drink comes out. My buddy's like, listen, he goes, let's go. He goes, let's just calm down. He goes, I'll tell you what. I have a bunch of these drinks. There's a basketball tournament at this school. He's like, we'll take all these with us. We'll sell them there. I'll split the profits with you. I'm like, all right, man. Okay, fine. It was a lovely June Saturday. It was probably 2000. This was probably 2004 at this point because I was in about a year and a half. So I'm guessing this was 2004. June.
Yeah, Bad Dog. Bad Dog's name is Kevin. You could have been Ketone Kevin.
May 2004, whatever. It was late spring, early summer. We are driving, or he's driving, and he's not going to the school. And I'm like, where are you going, man? And he goes, oh, we just got to go to the upline Ruby's house, and we just got to pick up the products. Well, I'm like, great. Well, I really don't want to see this guy after what he said because I didn't really care too much for him either. So I didn't want to see him. When we get there, it's Saturday. It's probably 1 in the afternoon. And the guy's white pants says, so, hey, boys, this stuff is in the garage. Now, you want to talk about garage qualified or product loading or whatever you want to talk about? This guy had a warehouse of Quick Start product in his garage. A warehouse of stuff. Just tons and tons and tons of stuff.
So what level was he at the time?
He was a Ruby. He was a Ruby at the time. So she's like, well, the drinks are over there. There's like 6 cases for you guys to put. So I say to my buddy, I go, by the way, where is he today? He goes, oh, he's working. I said, he's working? I said, what do you mean? I thought he made $100,000 a year. He told me he made $100,000 a year. Why is he working on a Saturday? Hey, guys, I'm not bullshitting you when I tell you, my buddy said, oh, he has 3 daughters. They're all in college. And he
Appreciate you, Nakama. Have a good night.
Helps pay their tuition. That was it. That was the end for me. That was the end for me. This guy who berated me and told me my wife is going to, college is a scam and all the other crap, and then the guy has 3 daughters in college and he's working on Saturdays and supposed to be making $100,000 a year to pay for his girl's tuition. That pissed me. I was done. I went to the thing with my buddy, and then that was it. I quit. I stopped paying my stuff. I stopped going to the meetings. I was out.
Insane. Glenn says, the same thing happened to me. My father's sponsor told him to stay away from me because I am a negative dream stealer. So imagine that. Glenn's dad was told not to talk to his own son because he's a negative dream stealer. Imagine that. And of course, his dad has not made a fucking, he has nothing to show for his Amway efforts over the past 20 years.
I was out. So 18 months of a lot of that. And again, details are a little sketchy because it was over 20 years ago. My mind isn't what it used to be. But those
Peace out, Diana.
That really stuck out to me. And, when I watch, this is why I like always Marco. This is why I like Marco, because there wasn't that type of thing. I know you guys don't care, whatever. I don't know what your beef is. I wish you guys would debate him. I really do. I think it'd be good for both of you guys to just debate. Just figure it out. He's obviously extreme one way. You guys are extreme another way. But I talking to you now, I really think you guys could have an intelligent conversation. I honestly.
Wait, Dana, your husband doesn't like me? What the fuck?
We do. But if I had this, guys, if I had somebody like that, to, if nothing else, at least point it out to me to make me think, maybe I ought to take a look at the other side of this. Maybe I ought to talk about what, look at what he's talking about. If I would have had that, I would have got out earlier and not lost any money. I know. Nice. There he's coming tonight.
Sorry, somebody earlier said, Jennifer said, Dominic the leg. So funny. You guys, I'm going to go back and watch this stream when it's done and read all of your comments with the names because I'm sure I missed some and I'm going to cry laughing. Holy fuck. We have to compile that. Somebody clip that and post it somewhere, man. We got to have that. That's fucking hilarious.
All right. Little tooth. You're right, big man. You gotta bring it to mom because the tooth fairy is gonna come. So, luckily I'm not a quick store anymore, so I can afford to give money for his tooth. But that's my story, guys. I mean, I don't know if you want to ask any questions or, you know, that was pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, Peter, did you have any questions or comments?
No, I appreciate the story, and I think yours is a very similar story to what a lot of other people have told, is there was such a push for, let's call it the system or the tools, the books, the tapes, and the functions, and not the same level of training on pushing the products. And it was almost cult-like in the response levels of the loyalty you're supposed to have towards the system, you know, and the ridiculous responses they might make about, you know, unsupportive spouses or unsupportive friends or family. It's ridiculous. Like, maybe you should be talking to someone else. Like, who nominated you to be a marriage counselor?
Joey says, translating Baddog's request to Peter and Scott to debate Marco. Joey K says, quote, hey, chain vaping Kyle with one arm, you should fight Conor McGregor. It would be great for both of you, making the point that Scott and Peter would be no match. So true. We call it no match. We call it no contest.
You know, or when it comes to how you spend your money, you know, tell me where your financial level of expertise is, and if you knew that much about.
Jared says, there's Vima Vinny. He says he's been hitting the gym, but we all know he's on the juice. So fucking funny. All right.
You know, how do you know you're not misdiagnosing this problem over here? So the reality is that it's a level of incompetence beyond measure that rides along the concept of really being cult-like crazy. And that's the problem. Maybe, you know, you would have maybe gravitated towards a product that was a good profit product that you could have sold, or maybe you would have just done it as a part-time gig. You know, hey, there's nothing wrong with good, healthy, nutritional supplements and stuff like that. And if you want to be able to make some money part-time to be able to supplement what you're buying for yourself and your family, that's fine. Not everything has to be a lifestyle, the rich and famous, you know, thing. Maybe you could just do it as a part-time gig. But it's the whole tools system that makes it so deceptive. And you're right. If you had an opportunity to maybe be able to listen to someone like Scott, or maybe someone, I'll throw Marco's name in there as well, if you were able to listen to somebody who had credible advice, you would have not spent as much time.
Wow, Dana Rose says about her husband, he does not, but I love you. Dude, Dana, your homework is to get your husband into the cult. We got to get him in. In true MLM upline fashion, I must say to you, how can you be with this guy if he is not on board with this cult? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
With that company, or maybe never joined it initially. And maybe people that are pushing it that way would have never done it. So those are really my only comments. But your story is, unfortunately, too common, and unfortunately it came at a time where you needed a serious solution as opposed to a year wasting your time.
Right. Well, the one thing I can say is that was like rock bottom. And then I ended up, you know, coming up, and I don't know what people define as success, but, you know, we sold that house, bought a new one. My wife has a great job. She graduated with her master's degree. She has a great job. I have a great job with the state, and I have a pretty successful YouTube channel. So, you know, things are good. But, you know, Peter, you mentioned, you know, part-time gig, and that's fine, but that's not what they sell you. Like, nobody ever sells you, hey, you should do this part-time. You guys know they just pitch that, you know, be your own boss 10 to 15 hours a week, and then when you work the 10 to 15 hours a week, well, you're not working hard enough. You're not working hard enough. That's not enough time. The other thing I don't understand is they say this is your business. You own your business, but that's not true. If I'm a business owner, I decide when I hold meetings. I decide when I hold, you know, professional development or functions or whatever. If I'm my own boss, we'll just use Quickstar or Amway as an example, or my upline, how come they're the ones that are, you know, telling me when I have to go to the meetings? Or how come they're the ones scheduling the functions? If I own my own business, how come somebody else is scheduling my appointments? You know what I mean? Like, I should be the one that's deciding when I go to meetings. I should be the one doing that. It should not be an upline. To me is like a boss. You have to go to this meeting. You have to go to this. You got to go to that. They're telling me what to do. So if I'm a business owner, nobody tells a business owner what to do. Nobody tells a business owner.
Yeah, eventually, if your business got big enough, like Winters, it's Winters that broke off from Britt.
Yes.
Yep. So his business got big enough to where instead of following Britt's meeting schedules and functions and all that, he developed his own. Now, my opinion on why he did that, and others have done that over the years as well, they break off from their upline's tool system, and I think a lot of it is because they see how much money is being made, and maybe they ask for more of a cut, or maybe they don't, but at some point they decide, I can make a whole lot more money if I had my own tool scam system, and so they break off like Winters did. Now, I find that the LTD, and we've had several LTD guests on the show over the years, that they're probably one of the more militant groups, and your story reflects that as well, with that really strong. In fact, we had a woman on here, I think 3 or 4 years ago now, Peter, and I think it was LTD. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been worldwide. But she was married to a Native American, right, American Indian. And they had a son that even before they had joined Amway, he had committed suicide. They had 2 young kids. She was disabled. She couldn't have a job because of her disability. And she did not support his business. And he was being told by his upline that they wanted to make him the first Native American diamond. And so then when he told his upline that she didn't want any part of it, they said, well, you need to dump her. You just need to, dump her and just let her, raise the 2 young kids on her own, and she can figure out, maybe live with her parents or something.
Gary with a great comment here. He says, Scott and Peter remind me of flat earthers. Their identity is so closely tied to their cause and community. In the face of facts that disprove their views, they cannot admit they are wrong. Exactly. They do what every MLM person I've ever seen who is confronted with facts does. They deflect and they ignore and they make personal attacks. Speaking of which, assuming that this person does not flop, I am going to be doing on tomorrow night's stream a debate. Now, this is a person who was recommended to me in the comments of a YouTube video I recently saw, and they also happened to comment on that YouTube video right after the person who made the comment informing me about them did. And they put a comment that they then deleted, but I still am able to see the notification in my list of alerts. And I looked this person up and saw that they were a big recruiter for a certain MLM company. And I called them on the phone to ask if they were interested in talking. And of course, as it usually goes, these people will say yes, but then they'll start asking me questions about, so what do you want to actually talk about? And I will begin, and then they'll start to make the arguments there instead of doing it on the stream. And they basically will try to goad me into going back and forth with them and testing the waters of my debate skills prior to doing it. That way they can weasel their way out of it and say, oh no, something came up or I was busy or whatever. And the other day, I have to admit, I was bored, so I gave in, and I ended up spending like an hour on the phone with this guy where I just bodied him left and right. But you know what? I actually, since he has had the opportunity to hear a few of my rebuttals, I figure there's no excuse for him to not show up tomorrow and win, because he already knows a bunch of the stuff I'm going to say. So he has had now a couple days, or by tomorrow night, he will have had a couple days to formulate rebuttals to my rebuttals. So hopefully this guy doesn't flop, the guy that I called. He says he doesn't want me to say what the name of the company is that he's in. No problem. You guys will be able to look up his name and in 2 seconds see exactly what company he's with, just like I did. And hopefully he will be able to explain to us how his MLM company is not a pyramid scheme. Yeah! All right. On with Baddog.
and she can't hold down a job. I mean, it was brutal what she was told to do, or I should say what he was told to do by the upline. So the story you told is exactly along those same lines as far as they don't care about relationships. They don't care about helping people. They only care about putting money in their pocket. They want to keep you in as long as they can and get as much money out of you as they can before they dump you, because they're always looking for new people too. They're not just counting on you to be their money source forever. They know that they're going to squeeze you dry at some point, and you're going to have to quit probably because you literally can't afford it. But they're always looking for new people to take advantage of as well. That's just the way it operates. It's the nastiest business I've ever come across.
And yet he's not anti-MLM. Jimmy has a great comment. He says, so Scott and Peter, you agree that if we change the current structure of MLM, the whole system would collapse, right? Correct. So you're anti-MLM? No, I think the tool scam is awful. Exactly. Madness.
See, Scott, but this is my question to you then, because I've asked you this in the comment section. I don't understand why you're pro-MLM. You seem like you're anti-MLM to me. You're a guy that knows this better than anybody. And you said something to Glenn, which I wanted to touch on, because I thought this was very telling. Because I know, Glenn's story about his dad being an Amway, still an Amway, and he just keeps losing money, and the relationship is strenuous, and it sucks. You said people that are lazy and get out early are better off than the people that work the system, work their ass off. You were in for, 13 years or something like that, 13 or 16 years? And, obviously it hurts you, but wouldn't that speak to the fact that this just goes to show that business model is no good?
Get them.
It's set up for 99.7% of people to fail.
Get them.
You're a living testament to that. You did everything you were asked to do. You did it for years. You worked your ass off, and you did nothing but lose money.
So why do you think I'm pro-MLM?
No.
Doesn't answer the question.
I don't know. The way you talk about Marco and the way you say he's misinformed, I thought you were pro-MLM. I just the way you respond to my guy Marco, I didn't know, because when I listen to you talk, or I see your comments and I see your YouTube channel, I'm like, this guy's anti-MLM. So that's why I was like, I don't understand. This is why I wanted to talk to you, because I didn't understand. It was tough for me to tell him. Like, he seems like he gets that this is bullshit, that this whole MLM thing is bullshit. But yeah, it seems like you defend it sometimes, and I was trying to figure out where you stand on the whole matter of the MLM business model.
Yeah, well, like we've talked about actually many times, Peter and I are both anti-MLM if it's done wrong, and we're pro-MLM if it's done right. And we actually define that term. We don't just let it go like that. So if you have a tool scam, that's doing it wrong. And again, what makes it a scam isn't the amount of money being made, it's how it's been made available. That information has been made available to prospects and downline. And I don't think you were ever told that your upline was making multiple times more from the tools versus Amway. So that's number one. Number two is the lack of retail sales. And let me just ask you a quick question. For you personally, the year and a half that you were in, what would you say was the amount that you consumed on average per month versus what you sold to customers who were not distributors per month?
Oh God, I bet you it was like 5 to 1. I probably spent $300 a month on most of the energy drinks, the vitamin, because I was also told give them free samples. Give them free samples. That way they can taste it and they'll buy it from me. But nobody was buying it. I was buying it. I was consuming it. I was giving it away, and I was getting nothing in return. And like I said, those vitamins were really overpriced, and they said, the whole product of the product.
Don't get distracted, Bad Dog.
If you don't believe in your own product,
stay
how
on
do you
them.
sell that product to anybody else if you're not buying the product? That's what my Ruby was like, you should be drinking excess, not Pepsi. Maybe I don't want to live on excess energy. Maybe I want a Pepsi now and again. Or maybe I want a Coca-Cola. Or maybe I want a beer. You know what I mean? Maybe I want something different to drink. But it had to be 5 to 1. I bet you I spent $300 and maybe sold 60 worth of stuff. I don't think I was ever. I
Right,
don't think
so-
I ever had any positive months.
How many people did you recruit during that year and a half?
We like try to like show the plan to. I bet you it was a couple dozen. And when you come out, you know, I was gung ho about it at first. Like I couldn't sleep. I was so excited.
KB says, I'm anti-murder but pro-manslaughter. See how stupid that sounds? Exactly. Even in Robert's book, Ponzionomics, he talks about how even saying that you are anti-MLM is sort of a ridiculous declaration because it's like saying you're anti-murder. How can you be anti-something that is inherently wrong as though there is a justifiable way to be pro that thing? To be pro-murder means you're just a fucking psychopath and a criminal probably. So you don't go out here saying I'm anti-murder. Everyone knows murder is bad. It's not right. It's against the law, and on and on and on. MLM is a system that is intentionally designed for people to lose money. It is a calculated deception at every single turn. So to say you are anti-MLM only when it is done the wrong way is just such an absolutely insane thing to say. It's complete nonsense. I'm anti-murder when it's done the wrong way. Obviously, the gravity is not similar, but MLM is extremely harmful to people. It destroys people's psychological states. It destroys people's relationships. It destroys people's financial situations. It, in some cases, makes people commit suicide. I have talked to countless people who have said that they have sought professional therapy to unjumble their brain after they were professionally brainwashed and manipulated by an MLM. People who have talked about, I talked to one woman 2 years ago who was an older lady who was crying on the phone to me. I had no word, I didn't know what to say to her. I felt so awful for her. She said that her daughter was in an MLM company who I shan't name, and because she wasn't supporting her daughter, because she signed up under her daughter initially, but since she left, her daughter ostracized her and cut her off, which blocked her access to her grandchild. So this woman was a grandmother who was calling me and crying, saying, I can't even see my granddaughter anymore because my daughter has cut me out since I'm not supporting this MLM. Can you think of any other business, any other industry, any other job where if your relative or friend refused to work with you at your restaurant, let's say, or open another restaurant franchise location under you, or eat at your restaurant every day, that you would cut them out of your life completely, let alone a grandparent? You would stop that grandchild from seeing their grandparent and vice versa because they stopped being in your MLM? What could I have even said to this woman? I was 25 at the time, 2 years ago, and I was talking to a woman who was probably in her 50s, early 60s, and I just, imagine how powerless she felt. She's calling me. I'm a random guy on the internet making YouTube videos. I am not a professional therapist. I do not have the answers. I just told her the truth. I said, your daughter has been brainwashed. And unfortunately, I didn't know how to go about helping her to unbrainwash her daughter. It's like, there's no other industry you can point to. My point is this. You can't bring up another job, industry, profession, etc., where this type of thing happens. You can't point to an industry or profession that has such massive amounts of horror stories like this. I could continue my multi-level misery series infinitely. I had so many people reaching out to me to try to be on it before I put it on hiatus. How is that even possible? That there is this many people from different companies that all have basically the same story. Yeah, I was struggling. I was duped into this. I spent the money. I didn't really understand what it was even all about. They kept pressuring me. I didn't want to recruit people, and on and on and on. It is, I think it's, I read a article that was talking about how big the underground black market child T word, right? T word, also a word that you use when talking about cars on the road, and how that industry is worth X billion dollars annually, 30-some billion dollars. Okay, and it's a horrible thing. That's the most deplorable thing ever. And yet, MLM is estimated to be worth globally every single year $1 trillion annually is what it generates globally. So if you were to, all things equal, the amount of harm that is being perpetuated through those things that I mentioned, financial ruin, psychological manipulation, relationships being destroyed, suicide, divorce, etc., it's incomparable to any other widespread evil that exists. Multi-level, yes, I am saying this. Multi-level marketing is more harmful than any other, by every metric, financial, number of victims, the amount of harm, by every metric, it is worse. By every metric, it is bigger and it is worse. And to make it even, the cherry on the cake is that it's legal. That's the fucking, I have a saying, if I didn't laugh, I would cry, because it is such an insane truth that if I didn't make these jokes about it and, Taproot Tommy and all this shit we're doing, if I didn't laugh, I would cry. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. It's the worst scam of all time. I'm just almost finished listening to Harry Markopoulos's book, No One Would Listen, about catching Bernie Madoff. And several times in the book, he talks about the biggest financial fraud of all time, Bernie Madoff's $64 billion Ponzi scheme that it took him, 30 years to accumulate. Not even comparable. If you were to make a line graph, a line graph with two different bars next to each other, and one was Bernie Madoff, widely considered the biggest financial fraud of all time, and on the other graph, on the other line, was MLM, and you put them next to each other, relative, right? Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme would be flush with the x-axis. You wouldn't even see it come up. And then you would see MLM as this giant line that filled up the whole page. It's that big. It is that inconceivably big that, it can drive people crazy. So, the fact, going back to Scott and Peter, the fact that they talk about when it's done wrong is the stupidest thing you could say. And they themselves can't name one that does it right. I'm reading your guys' comments here. Thank you, Digital Acetone.
Keep up great work. Much love.
Thank you, Digital Acetone. Appreciate that. Means a lot, for real. Thank you. Let me reset this manifestation goal, because I need to manifest harder from the beginning. Hurts me to think about, man. Shows up for shift at McDonald's. Manager, so I heard your ma doesn't like the McDouble. Insane, yeah. Yeah, I am now reading Steve Hassan's book, Freedom of Mind, so that I can learn how to, help people. If there's a way that I can actually become licensed in teaching this strategic interactive approach for cult intervention, I would be happy to offer that as like a service privately, where I counsel people on undoing their MLM brainwashing. I would really love to be able to help people one-on-one in that way, as well as making my videos that help people on a wider scale. Yes, my Wii Nunchuck is back. Yeah. I wonder what happened to that woman. That was 2 years ago. I don't have her contact anymore. I think it might have been on Instagram that we did that call, but I'm sure they're out now. That company has completely collapsed since I investigated it. Hoping they're loving that math vocabulary. Thank you. Okay, Bad Dog, let's continue.
Excited. Oh my God, this is the best thing that ever happened. And when I kept getting turned down, and then people kept mentioning the damn Amway thing, and I'm like, what the hell? I didn't understand. Like, I never knew Mary Kay was an MLM. I didn't know that. I didn't know Tupperware was an MLM. I didn't know any of this stuff. Because again, the internet was kind of prehistoric, and it was tough to find this stuff. And there certainly wasn't as many of them back in 2002 as there are now. So I really didn't know a lot about it. People kept saying this sounds like Amway, and I'm like, well, it's not Amway, it's Quickstar. And then little did I know they were the same company. When I saw that Dateline NBC thing, though, I can tell you this right now, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't go to that. Because like I told you, I'm like, that's creepy to me, man. That thing, that's a cult. That was cultish. So it was, yeah, you know. It was, but the other thing you guys say when it's done right. When is it done right? If 99.7% of people lose money in this, when is it ever done right? When is it ever done right?
Let me jump in because you asked the question. I'll kind of answer it from my perspective. So I can see where you're coming from when you say, these things are all wrong and stuff like that. That's because that's what you compared it to. I grew up in a different scenario where I actually ran an MLM company, so I owned one, and the direct sales company prior to that I was with introduced an MLM compensation plan, so I worked that, and we sold products to people that were not necessarily in the downline. So we sold products to real customers for a long time. So,
by the way, sidebar, the fact that you would even have to specify that, the fact that you would even have to say, I had a company and we actually sold products to real customers, not just our own staff, not just our own sales force, not just our own employees, is such a huge fucking red flag. And remember the Richard Bliss Brooks stream we watched where he's like interviewing people that are in the company and he's going, be compliant, be compliant. Where else would you have to do that? Imagine, and this was, by the way, if you didn't see that stream, he's going around asking people in his Young Living Essential Oils, I think it's Young Living, Essential Oils MLM. He's asking distributors, what do you like about, what are the benefits of this product, of this essential oil? And they're going, well, it helps with, and he goes, be compliant, your mood. Of course, scientifically unquantifiable, your mood, great, it's compliant because you're not saying anything specific. If you were the manager of a McDonald's and you went to a McDonald's staff member, why do you like the Big Mac? They could tell you, yeah, I like the taste. You wouldn't have to go, be compliant. Insane.
For me, my reality was...
Yeah, Peter. Hey, Peter, what's the name of your MLM company that you had? What happened to it? If you're the expert on doing it right, shouldn't it still be around? Shouldn't it be the most successful? Shouldn't you be rich?
When it's done right, you sell a product to a retail customer, and people that are retail customers sometimes want to help sell the product as well, so sometimes they become distributors. So you sponsor distributors, and they obviously buy product, and you deserve the commissions because you did the work. You sell...
And Paz, in Peter's voice, I ran an MLM company, so I was literally Satan. Real fact. He loves saying real fact.
And those people, hopefully, will give you more referrals or just continue to buy customers. So that's when it's done right. So what my
But
thought
that's a
process,
very small scale, right?
No, not at all.
That's the minority. That's not the minority?
That's the minority in Amway. That's not necessarily the
minority.
minority.
In all of them, though, Peter. Not
really.
That percentage is across the board. The
not
99%
really.
failure rate is across the board. Can you tell me an MLM that doesn't have a 99%?
Get them.
Because, like I said, there's a ton of them out there, and maybe I'm missing one. Because I certainly don't know them all. I'm not going to pretend like I know every MLM out there.
First of all, I've been doing this a lot longer than you, so
yeah, absolutely.
I won't ask a question that I know you haven't researched because you don't have time to research this stuff. Is where do they get these numbers
what a dickhead.
from?
99%. Disclosure play. Yeah, it's their own income.
Exactly, it's their own fucking documents that say 99% of people lose money. You think they're
disclosure?
Okay.
You can find out in any one of them.
Okay, so let's imagine.
Yeah, and wouldn't those companies' own reports that they published be the most endearing, self-glamorizing numbers that you could get anywhere? Wouldn't those be the numbers that are presented in such a way that makes them look better than they are? Like presenting the average income, which is massively inflated because it doesn't include the costs to the distributors, and it also factors in the incomes of those at the top who are making millions, which brings up the overall average hugely. So hugely. Like, great point, Bad Dog.
That the income disclosures themselves are somewhat suspect. Why would they make them look bad, though? Why would they make themselves look bad?
Exactly.
Well, they don't.
So a lot of them don't even have income disclosures, so you can't say all of them have 99.7 if a bunch of them don't even have income disclosures.
Stupid fucking dumbass thing to say. Of all the ones that do have disclosures, which is most of them, you absolutely could put them all side by side and look at every previous year's disclosure and understand that they all have the same loss rate. Every MLM is a pyramid scheme. They just have not been yet determined to be that. That's it.
Okay, well, the ones that have income disclosures, they show that the majority of people would always lose because the people at the bottom are always going to lose, and that's always the overwhelming majority. Yeah, a couple of people get through it. Glenn's lottery thing was a perfect analogy. Somebody can keep buying lottery tickets and eventually hit the lotto, and they get lucky. But the overwhelming majority of people that continue to buy lottery tickets are going to lose. That was a great analogy that he made.
It's not a good analogy. Let me kind of use it as an example. So I'm going to use a bad example. Going to bring you back to your Yankees. You like the Yankees. I like the Mets.
Oh, my God.
So
yeah, they both
I
suck
know.
this year, Peter.
They suck all the time. Just so you know, I don't even know why I do know why I'm a Mets fan. Is my best friend's mom was a Mets fan. I grew up a Mets fan. If you say, why are you a Mets fan? I have no fucking idea. I love the Mets.
So they didn't name one when Bad Dog asked. They didn't explain why 99% of all MLMs why all MLMs have the 99% loss rate. Deflection after deflection after deflection. They ignored him saying you guys should debate Marco.
Because Irene, my friend's mom, was a Mets fan, and that's where I grew up. So ever since I could walk, I was a Mets fan. That's what I was told. So, she used to go to Shea Stadium, and that's why I'm a Mets fan. So I was just teasing about that. But we both understand baseball, okay? So I want you to visualize this in your mind. You're up at the plate, and you're the batter, and you know how to hold a bat.
Exactly. I have no argument. Let me derail this quick. Even this whole diatribe, my mom's best friend, ever since I was a baby, I was a Mets fan, is designed to just fill the gaps, fill the space, and put time in between the last thing Bad Dog said and the next thing so that he forgets and doesn't bring it back up. That's what this is.
Right? I mean, there might be different styles in holding the bat.
Right.
Now I want you to flip it around, and I want you to hold the fat side in your hands, and the part with the knob, if you will, if they still have knobs, up on the top.
You're a knob.
And you'd say, you got it upside down, right? What would you say?
Right.
You're holding it the wrong way.
Yep.
You're holding it the wrong way. Now, if we had a whole entire baseball league that held the bat the wrong way, maybe they'd be able to figure it out eventually. But the reality is Amway is taught the wrong way. They teach these people those stupid things that you mentioned earlier. And that's why they have a super high retention rate. So if you walked into a batter and he's holding the bat the wrong way and all of them are doing it the wrong way, you'd say, well, that's the reason why. They're doing it the wrong way. It's obvious. It's so obvious. And when you talk about...
So they're all doing it the wrong way, and yet your MLM, which no longer exists, which was doing it right, no longer exists. Okay, make it up. Make it make sense.
Well, all you got to do is make sure that you're loyal to the system and you buy your own products and you blah, 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 and you do it the Amway way that they're taught. That's when you can almost guarantee you'll have a 99.9% failure rate because the whole organization is doing it the wrong way. And you'd say, well, how can you survive? And the answer is, if you're running the tools scam portion of the business, all of those people are going to your functions. All of those people are buying your books, your tapes, your meetings. You're making a shitload of money on audio cassettes or websites or MP3s. That's
Okay, Peter, great point, Peter. So explain to me why the MLMs that don't have a tool scam also have a 99% loss rate. Go. Well, you see, back in '68 when the Yankees played the Mets, and then they had, my mom's sister, she was really into making chili at home, so we would go over there on Sundays for chili. Answer the fucking question, you spineless fucking rat fuck.
where the upline is making the money. The idea that they're holding, I'm coming back to the bat the wrong way, doesn't matter. So not every MLM company is like that. A lot of Amway people are like that. Not all, but a lot of Amway people are like that, and that's why they have such a horrible failure rate. Now, the income disclosure statement, that's another, I want to stop there. We can talk about the income disclosure statement in a second, but do you kind of understand what I mean by when it's done wrong, it's wrong. If they're holding the bat the wrong way, it's wrong. You got to flip it around, and unfortunately, the Amway teams have a lot of people doing it the wrong way for their own reasons.
And yet every MLM is based off of the Amway rules that were established in '79. I made 2 videos about a certain MLM company who I won't name back in 2021. They're still on my channel. They're 2 of my most viewed videos. And their CEO talks about how he got the idea for that company from his time as a distributor in Amway. In my new video, I include an excerpt from the book written by the CEO of this company, where he says that he got the idea for the system of this company from Amway. So they always point to Amway as the villain, which is such irony because Amway is the template for every MLM.
Most of them don't even know.
Peace out, Mars. Hope you feel better. Aw, sorry, muscle mommy. It's okay.
Why they're doing it the wrong way, that's just what they're told, and either they're brainwashed, loyal followers, faithful people, however you want to design it, most of them go broke doing it the wrong way. And unfortunately, people like Glenn's dad have some other reason for staying. There's some other mental, psychological reason for staying in something that he should obviously quit. So I'll be quiet and I'll let you comment because I didn't want to hog the conversation.
Okay, so one thing Marco has mentioned, and I think he's right, when you're talking about an MLM product, there's a lot of competition. You have Amazon, you have Target, you have Walmart, and why can't I just get a product like Marco was doing something the other night on yesterday about this coffee MLM guy and talking about how you can get 3 boxes of coffee for like $50. I'm like, I can get 2 gigantic things of Folgers coffee that's going to last me 6 months for $40. I don't like. There's just you can't sell the product. Like that's what's difficult because people are like, why am I going to pay twice as much or 150% more for something that I've never heard of, as opposed to a brand name product that I could get at Target or that I could just click a button and it can be delivered right to my door. Like how can somebody feasibly make a living selling multi-level marketing products when you have that type of competition and earn a living? I'm not saying that you can't make like a part-time, like maybe you can find customers that want to buy very few products, but you're never going to be that millionaire guy or, you're never going to do what they say or show you. That stuff's not going to work. You can't feasibly do it because the people that are at that level got it right away, and it's almost impossible in the 99.7.
Yeah, pretty sure Scott and Peter said that he could straighten Glenn's dad out in 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure that was the number he gave.
Let me step in. Let me step in real quick, Kevin, because I've said before on our show, if I was king for a day, I would outlaw MLM because it is so prone to abuse. However, I don't think I'm ever going to be king for a day. And I think it's a bridge too far
I'll tell you what,
to expect the FTC to actually outlaw MLM. And so what I'm calling for is for the FTC to make it across the board, across the entire industry, a minimum of 50% of the products or services must be sold to customers who are not part of the MLM compensation plan, real customers. And if they don't, they should be labeled as an illegal pyramid and shut down. I believe that if the FTC did that you would see almost all MLMs either go out of business completely or do what AdvoCare did in 2019 when the FTC went after them. They abandoned their MLM compensation plan and went to a direct sales. Direct sales is there's no upline, no downline. Each individual is connected directly to the company, just like you did when you were, selling the different gases, the bottles of gases. You didn't have an upline or downline. You just were connected to the company out there selling the stuff. And if that occurred, it would fix the whole situation. Now, there's a guy by the name of Noah Phillips who at the time was an FTC commissioner. And if you go to MLMconference.com, he was part of that year one conference. They've done it 3 times now. Marco was the latest one. But he was at that very first one, Noah Phillips. It's in the first session. You can go to MLMconference.com. It's actually an anti-MLM conference. And what he said was the FTC is supportive of MLMs. So I don't even think you're going to be able to get the FTC to completely 180 change their minds and say, now we're not supportive of MLMs. What you have to do is convince them that there are criteria that define what a legitimate MLM is as opposed to an illegal pyramid. And they don't even have to use 50%. They could say it's got to be at least 2/3 or 3/4 have to be retail sales, whatever their number. I think that it's a little bit arbitrary to say 50%, but that's where the FTC has settled with some companies out of court. They sue them and then they settle out of court before a trial. That's basically where Vima and Herbalife ended up with settlements in 2016, was they had to have at least half of their products going to customers. And so that just needs to be across the board. And also the tool profit has to be made transparent. You can't have this under-the-table money where most of their money is coming from the tools and they're not owning up to it. And in fact, most of these people that get into these higher pins, they only achieve that level for a short period of time, and then they fall back 1 or 2 pins. And the only reason they don't have to go back and get a job, like your person had a job on the weekend, is because of the tool scam. The tool scam is what props them up. It's not that they continue to earn the pin that they once made that level, because they fell back. If you're familiar with the term founder's pin, that's where you maintain a level for 12 out of 12 months versus 6 out of 12. So if you're a diamond, it means you did the volume required for a diamond for 6 out of 12 months. If you're a founder's diamond, it's 12 out of 12 months. Now, even if you hold it for 12 months, doesn't mean you continue to hold it, but at least it's a demonstration that you could maintain it for some period of time. And there's very, very, very few founders pins, which to me means they've fallen back at least 1 or 2 pins, but they didn't have to get a job, go back and get a job because the tool scam propped them up. So there's multiple layers to this that makes it terrible. But I don't think you're going to get the FTC to just flat out outlaw MLMs. I think it's a bridge too far. That's my...
I actually agree with Scott. The FTC won't outlaw MLM because the political fix, the political corruption, the lobbying is so massive and so high up that until the public sentiment is so overwhelming that people want MLM gone, nothing will happen. Username says, imagine living your one lifetime you'll ever have doing what these guys do, right? Literally sad, pitiful. NPAS says, I'm pro MLM done right, but if they had to sell 50% of their product, all of them would go out of business. Make it make sense. They continue to contradict themselves. It's insane. Is this gaslighting or just plain stupidity? A little bit of both, a little bit of both. Glenn says, Peter said if he spoke to my father for 5 minutes, he would have him sponsoring people right away. Fucking insane. Whole lot of nothing burger. Sunken place for real. Burning money, yep.
Position on this whole thing.
And they shouldn't.
Right.
So now let me just jump in because you asked.
Somebody needs to make a transparent PNG burger emoji of just the top and bottom bun with nothing in between.
Question I want to kind of follow up on some of the things that you had said. Let's talk about the price of a product. Now, I grew up in direct sales, and I sold vacuum cleaners with a company called Electrolux. And they were higher priced than most vacuums in a retail store. So you could buy a Hoover for $100 or $200.
He's going to say it.
Top of the line Sears for $300 way back then, or Eureka, what any of the other ones. And Electroluxes, we were selling them for $600 or more. And people would say, well, why should I buy that? I could buy another vacuum for less price. And then only people, and I'm going to say this, it's going to sound like a derogatory thing, not towards you, though, Kevin, or anybody else that might be listening. It's going to sound condescending. But Electrolux vacuums weren't bought. They were sold, meaning you needed a direct salesperson to go in there and give people the reasons why they'd want to pay the higher price, justify the higher price, and you needed a direct salesperson to be able to do that. So when done right, you can sell an overpriced product, meaning higher priced product, with a direct sales rep that educates the customer. So whether the sales rep is doing it, the company's doing it, that's why the whole, you can buy Folgers for, 5 pounds of Folgers versus the Ganoderma coffee that Jay Nolan was selling. If Jay Nolan spent more time on justifying the value of the product as opposed to just calling it coffee, then the arguments about price fall flat. So now idiots, and I got to call him an idiot like Marco, he just says, that's a cliche. Look at this, Mingle saying vacuums aren't bought, they're sold. Anybody in direct sales, your insurance guys, your financial planners, you realize that a better product at a higher price is sold. They're not just bought. People don't line up like on a Sunday at a bakery like they used to buy muffins or cookies. They're sold by a direct sales force. That's why the Amazon argument falls flat, the Costco argument falls flat, because you're not comparing the same thing. Now, people that are uneducated or just plain unsophisticated or just plain stupid that don't understand that argument realize that you need, this goes back to Scott's thing about why multi-level marketing or direct sales needs to be there. You need to have a direct sales force that's educated to be able to show people some of the benefits to justify perhaps a higher price or answer those questions. Why would you exchange convenience for buying from me through this organization? Most, and I'm going to tell you this, so this is my anti-MLM admission, most MLMers do it wrong. They've never sold anything in direct sales. They don't know anything that I just said. They listen to their upline. A famous gentleman, Dr. Charles King, who taught at the University of Illinois in Chicago, said the biggest problem with MLM.
Back in the game, he called you an idiot, yes. I like how they acknowledge that I still exist. You needed the elephant with the vacuum cleaner to demonstrate in-house, yeah. Marco caught us straight for what? Hilarious.
Is upline teaches downline. Most of them have inadequate uplines that don't know how to do the teaching. So that answers some of your questions right there. And also justifies when it's done right, MLM is good. Unfortunately, there's too much of it done wrong. And the ones that make the highlights are out there in abundance. And the FTC can have a field day picking them off. And a lot of the anti-MLMers do the same thing because uneducated people become distributors. And think about this. I'll just say it like this. What qualifies you to become an MLM distributor?
Nothing.
The answer,
money.
Nothing. Your payment clears. That's the only thing justifies an MLM distributor. And can you have a microphone and speak? Of course. Now, I don't know a lot about what you do, But let's go to you as a sports
I love when they talk about me too, Hopi Nay, believe me.
announcer. The guy who's doing the interview always holds the microphone. He never gives the microphone away. Why? Because if you give the microphone away, you lose control, and who knows what this guy is going to say. So unfortunately in MLM, as in YouTubers as well, influencers, quote unquote, if they have the ability to turn on a microphone and speak at will, they say the goofiest friggin' things. And the FTC obviously is designed to be able to stop that misinformation, the wrong information, the lies, all of that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, even people that are successful, making money isn't a barometer of your level of knowledge of MLM, because there's a lot of MLM millionaires that are complete idiots. And
right.
They give Marco and people like Marco plenty of ammunition to highlight them on a regular basis.
Welcome
so I hope that
to Building
answers
Fortunes
some of the
Radio.
questions
Sorry.
that you might want to ask.
Sorry, I'm opening up the iHeartRadio link because I can put it on 1.5 speed because this is
Amway team
excruciating. Where are we at? We're at 1 hour and 9 minutes. Let me go there.
Teams with this Jay Nolan C version at here while you
have got talking about
successful. Making money is designed to be able to stop that misinformation, the wrong information, the lies, all of that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, even people that are successful, making money isn't a barometer of your level of knowledge of MLM, because there's a lot of MLM millionaires that are complete idiots. And
right.
They give Marco and people like Marco plenty of ammunition to highlight them on a regular basis. So I hope that answers some of the questions that you might want to ask.
Saying a whole bunch of fucking nothing. Wow, that was excruciating. Wow.
When we can have a civil conversation.
So why? I do want to ask you though. Why is Marco an idiot? Like, why do you say he's an idiot? Marco is very well read. He does his research. He's not making this stuff up. Like, he's not pulling these facts out of thin air. It's obvious he does a lot of research on this stuff. It's obvious that he knows what he's talking about. Is he 100% correct all the time? Nobody is. But I think you guys have a lot more.
That's generous to them, Bad Dog. I actually am right 100% of the time. And if you were a true devoted cult member, you would believe that too.
Common with him than you actually think. And I think it'd be great for the entire MLM, anti-ML, pro-ML. You guys have got to talk sometime. It has to happen.
Yes.
Everybody wants
let
it
me
to
use,
happen.
It has to,
Let
bro.
me use as an example on his last video, Meet Jay Nolan.
Peace out, Glenn. Oh, so Peter watches my stream. Woo! He watched the Meet Jay Nolan stream. Peace out, Glenn.
You may not know this, but so I'll just kind of inform you. Well, you don't know what I'm going to tell you next.
No, I don't.
I know Jay Nolan for years, and I know the real story behind what happened with Jay Nolan. And here's the way it works. Now,
Was it racism?
I'm not talking down.
Was it racism, Peter, as Jay Nolan claimed, that he was being lynched by the FTC?
To you, I'm just talking about stuff that even I need to be reminded of. What you read in a one-sided FTC judgment is their version of their story. And to have a whole entire YouTube session on the FTC version as if that's the truth, and then to make comments about that, shows how you might sound smart to people that don't know the truth.
What do you mean it's one-sided? They had direct quotes from Jay Nolan and his co-conspirators. The one quote that comes to mind is where the one guy at a conference said, "Is this one of those pyramid scheme things?" You bet it is. We watched with our own eyeballs. Go watch that stream. We watched with our own eyeballs Jay Nolan make ridiculous earnings claims about the potential for selling coffee in his Success by Health MLM, talking about nanotechnology in the coffee, whatever the fuck that means, and saying a bunch of ridiculous shit. It's obvious that the FTC took their time and did their research before bringing the enforcement action against Jay Nolan. So surely, Peter, you are not suggesting that the FTC just made it up, right?
But to people that know what happened, it's you're making an idiot of yourself.
But the FTC thing, that wasn't the whole video. He was talking about the compensation plan and all the other nonsense, the word salad that this guy kept spitting. And that's that's all these high-end MLM distributors. They all make these claims. The David E. Moon ETAs, they break off. And my system's the best because this and this and this. And at the end of the day, they're all the same.
Yes.
Peter, so you said you sold electric.
Hold on. I will agree with you when you're right. So these MLMers.
D's nuts.
Slay.
Thank you, D's. Appreciate you. Thank you for that.
They go out there and they do their stupid math to try to oversell the compensation plan, and they start using, hypergalactic terms.
He's talking about Jay Noland using ridiculous numbers, saying even if we go 1/8, even if it's 1/8 of that size, it's still a $12 billion company or whatever the fuck, and using intergalactic terms. Yeah, nanotechnology. Exactly, that is what he was doing.
As far as, your Triple Crown, blah, 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 blah. And then when you get 57 people on your 47th level because
the 4th generation BAM bonus or whatever.
Because you did a 10 level, 10 times down, you just say, okay, that's stupid, that's MLM math. Like you just lost me there. Either you're dumb, you're stupid, or you're just regurgitating. Now I have to, if I'm gonna build a business with you, I have to build a business in spite of what you just said. Like that was just stupid. So there's a lot of MLM people. As soon as they get into that, okay, I'm going to tell you how wonderful this compensation plan is, and we'll talk about your pink Cadillac and your multi-million-dollar bonus that you're going to hit and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, you guys are so overselling this. MLM is a good part-time gig.
I wonder if he's ever going to answer the question, which is, what makes Marco an idiot?
Here's the way it should be sold. MLM is a good part-time gig. And if you can get a lot of people making a little bit of money, you can become rich. Taylor Swift, right? She makes a boatload of money. Let's take away the concerts. Let's talk about just the albums that she sells. She makes a few bucks per album or whatever else it might be that's sold. She makes a little bit of money on a lot of people, and everybody's satisfied. So MLM, in my opinion, I've said this for as long as I've been in MLM, they're selling it wrong.
Terrible analogy, because in MLM, the top people are making a lot of money off a lot of people because those people are spending a lot of money. Furthermore, if I pay to go to a Taylor Swift concert, Taylor Swift is an MLM. If I pay money to go to a Taylor Swift concert, I knew what I was getting. I was getting a Taylor Swift concert. I can Google the set list to see exactly what songs she will be performing, because I can see a video online of the previous night when she was in a different city. So I know exactly what it's going to look like and what songs are going to be performed. There's transparency there. There is not a deception going on. The product that I am purchasing does actually exist. In MLM, in my experience, every single MLM presentation is about them selling you this mythical income opportunity that doesn't actually exist. So Peter's analogy here has no legs, no matter how you slice it.
MLM is a great part-time gig, and if you get enough people doing it, you can become rich. And that's true, because if you're getting paid, just like an athlete, just like anybody else that's getting paid on a little bit from a lot of people.
Taylor Swift, athletes, keep them coming.
You can become rich. You have a
that's what happened to me when I was younger. That's what it was. Selling and making a little bit off a lot of people. That's a little bit off of each one of the products that I sold. That's exactly how it happened.
And what's wrong with that story? So what's wrong with that story? So that's my biggest that's my biggest complaint. So when you get a guy that talks about all the other bullshit, that's when I say it's done wrong.
But that's the majority of the bullshit, right? That's what Marco is pointing out, that he's pointing out all the bullshit that goes into this.
So the way Peter tells it, it's almost like the endless chain math is irrelevant. The pay-to-play mandate is irrelevant. The 99% loss rate, the extreme money transfer, the recruiting mandate to advance through the levels, which aren't present in the Taylor Swift concert, the athlete analogy, the military, doctor's offices, real estate brokerages, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are completely irrelevant facts. We should only be talking about lack of retail sales and the Amway tool scam. Okay, well, tool scam aside, if we're talking about retail sales and you truly, Scott and Peter, you both want MLM to be based on retail sales, well, you, me, and God know the truth that if the companies were just based on direct selling, they would fail. They would fold immediately because we have Amazon, we have Walmart, we have Target. Direct selling is obsolete, which is why they have this pyramid scheme, MLM as they call it. It's a made-up term. This is why they have a pyramid scheme model where they are getting people to pay monthly fees and buy starter kits and then recruit other people who do the same thing. Because otherwise there would be no fucking money. It's like, I know they know.
He's just making people aware, hey, pay attention to this. This guy's saying this. This is wrong here. He's pointing out all the bullshit that comes from it. And you guys know that there's a lot of bullshit.
Right. Well, that's why we say when MLM... Oh, well, hold on a second. That's why we say when it's done right, it's done right. When it's done wrong, it's done wrong. And there's plenty done wrong. And Marco, as many other people, point out the things that are done wrong. Unfortunately, Marco takes it to the next level. So just like the Jay Nolan talking about the compensation plan takes it to the next level, Marco takes it to the next level. I'll use another example relative to Jay Nolan.
Is that a compliment? I think I'd take it to the next level too.
He says the story that Jay Nolan made up about the disgruntled employee or disgruntled distributor that was fired. It's a made-up story. That's what Marco says.
Even if it wasn't made up, it's completely irrelevant. You were shut down for being a pyramid scheme. To make that absolutely tasteless, vile video where you are accusing the FTC of racism and saying that you willing to cooperate with the FTC was equivalent to you saying, hands up, don't shoot, when you knew all of the Black Lives Matter stuff was going on and people were actually being killed by police. It's how are you going to try and defend this, Peter?
Marco, you overstepped your bounds. You're talking about stuff you have no concept of. That's a real story. The idea that the guy got
debate him. Why don't you guys debate him?
Thank you.
Because,
or go on a show or vice versa.
My personal feelings are well, I can talk about these
my personal feelings. Peter, you're such a pussy, bro.
Things to you or some other people. Marco is not the kind of person I need to talk to about this. First, because of the things that he did to me. If you remember the way the relationship started. Second, the other things that he said. Third, I'm not forgiving. So the next part is I'm not forgiving. You never give idiots like that a chance.
You need to be forgiving. You need to be forgiving, Peter. Life's about forgiveness.
No.
Be a happy person. Be a happy person.
You don't have to forgive me, Peter. We can hash it out on the stream, whether you forgive me or not. You think I give a fuck about whether you forgive me, whether you like me?
Do you like me?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I appreciate your opinion. I disagree with your ability to influence my philosophy. So that's the reason why not. I can have these conversations. Plus, Marco
I think
is
you can have
an
him with
idiot.
him. I honestly do.
He's an idiot.
He's not an idiot.
He's
not an idiot.
Why?
Why
You
is
see
he
the way? You want to see why he's an idiot?
He's entertaining and he knows his stuff. He's not an idiot.
So here's the thing.
Thank you, Baddog. You're a G, bro.
I don't agree with him, but he's not an idiot.
Hold on. Watch the video that he'll make about this radio show.
And Paz putting Taylor Swift, after Peter listens to Marco, puts on headphones. Can't you see that I'm the one who understands you?
The show. And show it to anybody else, and they will say, that guy's a friggin' idiot. He's an idiot. No. He's immature. He's stupid. He thinks he's smart. He's a waste of time. He's an idiot. He's not worth my time.
Okay, I'm not going to change your mind on him. I really wish you guys would talk to him.
I know, and I apologize. I didn't realize Scott dropped off. So if Scott was quiet, I apologize. He dropped off. So Scott, I'm going to let you talk. I was hogging the conversation. He might not have heard some of the things because he's traveling for those people listening in. Scott's in the car and he might have dropped off. Scott, you're back.
Peter, I'm sorry. Peter, there's one thing I did want to say.
I think I'm back in civilization again. We were amongst the cornfields, but now we're close up. So,
hold on. Mad Dog wanted to complete a point.
Peter, Scott was out there in the cornfields with a metal detector looking for UFOs.
Complete a point. So go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said, though, you, Peter, you became successful because you did everything your upline told you to do. You did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. And that's fine. That worked for you. But, see, that's what they talk about duplication in MLMs. You got to do this. Just do what your upline does. You want to be successful, you got to do what successful people do. So that doesn't work. It really comes down to the right time and the right person.
Bam, why are you deleting Peter Mingo's comments, bro? What up, Morgan? Morgan says, not the way the relationship started. Hilarious. Never. and Paz says, never forgive with the angry emoji. Such an incel. They are intimidated by Marco. The problem is Peter knows you're right, says Tana, and actually knows what you're talking about, so he can't talk with you because he would have to admit it. Oh, buddy, I'd clap those cheeks if we did a debate. So fucking funny. What up, Bam?
you can do exactly what your upline did, but if you don't have the right person at the right time, that person, no matter what you say, may not sign up with you. That duplication thing is such bullshit. Because unless you have somebody that's willing to take that all in and say, yeah, I want to join it, it depends on the person. It doesn't depend on the pitch. Maybe there's guys that are like on the fence about it. You can pull them in. But I think that most people are like, I'm not interested in that. No matter what you say, they're not going to be. Like you are not interested in debating Marco because you have your opinion on him. So no matter what I say, you're not going to debate him because you're like, he's an idiot. I say he's not an idiot. I think he's smart. I think he's entertaining. I think he knows what he's talking about. Like, he's an idiot. He sucks. He's this.
If I'm an idiot, then shouldn't doing a debate with me be a breeze? Shouldn't you win that easily? Shouldn't you stump me and have me, stuttering over my words?
That you had...
Whatever you guys call him. Marco, the Mucha Bear, Shyster, whatever. I don't know what you guys call him.
Well, Kevin, you're relatively new on the scene. When I first approached Marco a couple years ago, I invited him on this show. And what he did was said, well, I have more followers on social media, and I'm not going to associate myself with you. Now,
what I actually said was, I went and I looked at their show, and I listened to the quality, and I saw there was no comment section. There was no indicator of how many plays or viewers it had. There was no video accompaniment to the audio, and it was horrible quality. And I thought, nobody listens to this. I'm not going on this show. So I told him the truth. I said, I don't think me going on your show would help the world, because I could go on my own platform, where at the time I had 40-some thousand subscribers. I thought I could just go on my own platform and get the message out more effectively than if I spend the time doing your show. I told him the truth. And he was like, and I even let him down easy. The first reply I gave was, sorry, I'm not looking to do any podcasts or radio shows right now. And he responded and said, well, when? He wouldn't let up. When will you be available? And I told him, honestly, what I just said. I could just do it on my own platform. I don't need, your platform. And then he said, I don't think you realize how much respect you should have for me. You don't know who you're talking to. I'm the blah, blah, blah. To which I said, hey, Scott, go fuck yourself. And then we got 3 years of content out of it.
Marco associates himself with other YouTubers who have a lot more followers than him, so he's a total hypocrite. And so, the whole thing started because he was being nasty to me, and then he called Peter at 1 in the morning one night. It was actually the morning of Easter.
Don't answer the phone then. LOL, like I forced myself into Peter's phone.
Yeah, I know that one. I know.
And just let him on and tried to get my phone number, and, he faked.
Wow, they really sound like scorned lovers. Peter talking about the way the relationship started, and then Scott going like, he led him on. Literally so sus.
Who he was and his relationship with me. He's a liar. He's a total liar. And he's even said on his show, I'm a very good liar. That's a person we don't want to associate with. He's also, he was a cocaine dealer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's dealing cocaine right now, because he's not making much money on YouTube. He has no job, and he has to pay for an apartment. He lives by himself, so he has to pay for his car insurance, his food, his apartment. And I just don't know. I don't see him bringing the income in to support that. And he's talked over the last couple of years about being a total shyster. Okay, he's ripped off pizza companies, coffee companies, grocery stores, airlines, telephone companies. This is him on his videos talking about ripping off companies. That's a person I don't want to associate with.
But when it comes to the personal differences aside, when it comes to the MLM stuff, I think it would be a really good debate between you guys.
It would be, but you cannot separate the good debate stuff from the complete idiot. So,
I think you could. And again, I don't.
Let me put this in a perspective that you would understand. I know your son just lost his tooth. Imagine somebody did something to your son, and you'd say, "Oh, you got to forgive him, Kevin. Come on, man. You just got to forgive him.
No, not that.
You got to forgive him. Oh, come on, man. You got to give him a chance. He's a nice guy otherwise. I mean, he does this. He does that."
Well, that's a bit different, is it, Peter? I didn't do something to your son. The thing that I did to you was call you on the telephone. So saying to Baddog that if somebody did something to his defenseless, innocent son is somehow comparable to me, a grown man, calling you, a grown man old enough to be my grandfather. Trying to compare those two is a reach.
If somebody did something to your kid, would you forgive him?
I think I just answered that question.
It's a little different when someone's messing with your family as opposed to somebody on YouTube that just says some words.
I think I just answered the question. So the problem is you really can't separate the two. Like I can have a conversation. Me and you could disagree about a lot of things, but we're having a conversation. And I don't think you're...
I like how they still claim I'm broke. Literally, if you go back into the archives of Losing Fortunes Radio and you see the first time that they said, his YouTube channel's going down, he has no money, he's going broke, he must still be selling cocaine. If you went back to the first time they said this, I should have been homeless long, long ago. My channel should have been a ghost town long ago.
You're probably on YouTube sitting there doing jerk-off things while we're talking. I don't think you're really going to pick any of these audios to use as sound effect a little bit later on. I don't think you're that much of an idiot. Like, we're having a conversation. But
Bingo speed run for real. That was the most in a row. That was like bam, 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 bam. Bam bonus.
But if you were to do that, then I'd say, you know what? I guess he's just like Marco. You know, so the reality is that the guy's an idiot. He'll never get a chance. We're watching this channel die. If I met him in a room all by myself, it would be very painful to watch for Marco, regardless of what he thinks. But the reality is that now he crossed the line a long time ago.
Peter, I'd bend you over my knee and spank you on the bum for being a bad boy. That's what would happen if we were in the same room together. And I hope it happens one day. So true. The way I've been going to the gym and the way you've been wearing those Crocs, no contest.
Kevin. He crossed the line a long time ago. Guy will never be on my show. I can't wait until he gets his ass sued. And I hope Jay Nolan's attorneys go after him as well for some of the things that he said. So I hope he gets sued.
Do it, pussy! What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me?
In every direction.
I'm still alive. They fired their bullets back in 2021. I took a year off. I'm back. What up?
Direction. And I can't wait until he lives in a cardboard box. And if that sounds mean, that's just the way it is. Because if I don't do it to him, somebody else is going to, because he's going after some hockey players with WFG, and he's going to get his way one way or another. He's not going to have to worry about a retirement plan. He's not going to live that long. Oh. So the reality is that's why he's never going to be on as far as this radio show with me here. If Scott wants to interview him, I won't be here. But but the reality is no, doesn't get another chance at it.
You're a coward. What do you mean, give me another chance? Your entire audience is my audience. I'm giving you a chance. I'm giving you the platform.
Would you go on his show?
No, because again, you can't separate the idiot. You can't have a conversation with the gentleman. He's an idiot. No,
I really think you could.
I'll make you pinky.
I don't know.
I'll make you a pinky bet. Watch his reaction to this show.
Panda quoting Peter and like his lack of specificity. You fucked up, Marco. You did what you shouldn't have. You took it to the next level. Now somebody's gonna take you out. So snotty. Yeah. Pot meat kettle, a whole mess. So true. The debate with Losing Fortunes will just be them saying fluff and getting bodied. Marco's homeless. We call him homeless Marco, frankly. That's what we call him. You look what's happened under Biden. Marco had a home. When I'm back in office, Marco will be back on the streets where he belongs. So true. So funny. Yeah, he's such a child. Sometimes I wonder if Marco is just jerking off under the table with how much Peter says that. Yeah. Hands up. Hands up, as Jay Nolan says. You can see my hands. Fuck.
And then think whether we could really have a conversation or not.
Yeah, but let me put it this way. Gentlemen. You saw my comments. Obviously, that's why Scott reached out to me. You saw my comments and everything, and you probably were looking at that and saying, I can't have a conversation with this guy. This guy's a fucking idiot. This guy is a New York tough guy. This guy's an obnoxious fucker. And I am. No.
Yeah, exactly, Even Stevens. The hockey players at WFG did nothing.
Lies told, Scott. That is me. Okay, I am a fucking New Yorker in every fiber of my being. I am that guy. So no lies detected. I'm a stubborn, abrasive, obnoxious New Yorker. That is me. I'm not a tough guy, but I am the other things. And I'm definitely not a know-it-all. That's a fact. But you probably look at my comments, but we can't have a conversation. I think we had a pretty good conversation tonight.
I have no.
So you can pay rent, you pathetic deadbeat bitch.
Thank you, David Kelly. Yeah, Marco's on a 3-year journey to homelessness, as NPAS. KB, it wasn't professional hockey players. It was WFG recruiters in hockey gear playing hockey. How do you get a membership, says Sabrina? You click that money icon below, and you can donate, or you can buy a membership, or you can gift memberships. Appreciate it.
No problem with the conversation. The comments that I see on the trolling thing, I hate to say it, that's a whole bunch of people that are just, trash talking. Wow. I don't really look at any of those comments as being real for the most part. That's just people doing whatever they're doing because they're feeding off of Marco's attention.
So none of you guys' comments are real. You heard it here first. My chat is full of bots, and I'm homeless, and I'm poor, and I'm whatever else.
Or they just want to say something without thinking, and most of those comments aren't really valid comments. So I don't hold that against it. And anything that I've seen you say, I say, you know what, I bet you if we had a conversation, it would go just well. So we might not agree on everything, but I'm sure we'd have a civil conversation. But unfortunately, I don't think we could do that with Marco. So I've mentioned his name too many times on this radio show.
You could try. You could try. And if it goes bad, you cut off the calls, right?
Yeah. Nah, you don't give a guy a chance. So just like the kid.
I'm just telling you. I think it would be. I think it would be good. Glenn thinks the same thing. You guys have had great conversations with Glenn as well.
You guys could all be wrong.
Well, maybe. One last thing, and I was going to ask this because I know Peter. Not Peter. I'm sorry, Scott. When I wrote a question down, and I don't think it was directly to you. I just mentioned it in one of the comment sections, and you said, "I will answer your sophomoric question." Do you remember what that was?
I don't remember that question.
Okay, so this was my question, and again, after talking to you guys, and I'm telling you, I have a lot more in common with you guys than I thought I did, to be completely honest. So, but listening to you talk, I'm just curious. Remember, my question was, if MLMs are such legitimate business opportunities, and they're good opportunities, why are people so vague? Why doesn't somebody just come out and go, hey, I'm an Amway IBO. I'd like you to be my downline. I'm doing this with Amway. I want you to come on board. I want you to be. But why are they, hey, I got a business opportunity? Well, what is it? Well, it's this, and there's all these vagaries, and there's all this gray area. But nobody actually just comes out and says.
Peter's lip quivering when he said, you guys could all be wrong.
Says, hey, I work for LuLaRoe, or I work for Herbalife. We'd have to have a whole other show on the health MLMs because those piss me off because they don't know shit about health. It's my life. A lot of my life is being in shape and knowing my health and knowing all this stuff. But why are they so vague, Scott? What was your answer to that? Why they just don't come out and say who they're affiliated with right from the beginning? Because if you're starting any kind of relationship and you started off on distrust, kind of like you guys do with Marco, right? How can you ever trust a guy?
Yeah, well, the reason is because MLMs have such a well-earned bad reputation. Once they talk about their name, especially in this day and age, because you mentioned the internet. Back in 2002 was not very well developed. Well, I joined in 1993 before the internet was even made public. Right? It was just part of the military and a couple of universities, so it was pretty much no information available back then. And so nowadays with the internet, if you say the company name, they Google it and they find out right away that it's a scam. So that's why they can't mention the name.
Yeah. Right. So we agree on that then.
And the other part, Kevin, is because it's worked. The reason why they do it is because, number one, that's the way they're taught. And they're taught, this is the way it's done, keep duplicating this process. So they're like, oh, okay. And the second part is it's worked. So for them, that's what they've used. Do I agree with that method? No, not at all. Do I understand that method? Absolutely. So what we were told in 1993 before the internet was don't go talk to your relatives, neighbors, friends, coworkers because they're going to have an old idea of this is a door-to-door pulling your wagon around the neighborhood selling stuff, and that's not what we are. We're now network marketing, and it's way different. And so if you tell them at the Amway, they're going to have this old-fashioned idea in their head. And they're not going to be interested, and that's why you withhold the name. Now, that's not the real reason, right? That's what they told us was the reason. But the real reason was Amway had a very bad reputation, and you just don't want to say that word until very, very late in the presentation where you sort of get them hooked a little bit to the idea. And then in some groups, by the way, especially Worldwide Dream Builders, they'll have their people go to several meetings before they even bring up the A word, right, Amway. They really work them hard, multiple occasions to convince them this is a good deal, and then very, very late in the game, they tell them it's Amway. But again, that's the different technique at different lines of sponsorship. But that's the reason they don't say the name is they have a very well-earned bad reputation. So does that answer your question?
It does, and I experienced it firsthand. Because like I said, when I would talk about being in Quickstar and, hey, this is what I do, would you like to join me? And they said it sounds like Amway. That was a lot of the response. That sounds like Amway. So, yeah, but like I said, we agree on that then. That's why. That was my point, is that it's a bad thing, and if you say it right away, people go, I'm not interested. So that was my point. So we agree on that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna modify our agreement. And Scott, let me share with you, if you drop off, you can't get back on because we're over the time limit. So if Scott drops off, he can't get back.
What a great system.
So let me use a real-life situation with
their tech infrastructure is so advanced.
The company I started with, which was called Electrolux. Electrolux sold vacuums. I was a college graduate. Oops. Alexa.
Meter Pingles.
Everyone in the stream is energetically aligned with the bag. Donate to claim de Illuminati, de Illuminati, de Illuminati.
Yes. Well, there's an Illuminati. Wow. Beep boop. Insane. Insane. I'm trying to find this one TikTok over here in another tab, which reminds me of Peter so much. Especially the comment where in the chat Peter said, Peter's lip is quivering when he said you guys could all be wrong. He sounds so hurt for real. Pick a side, Scott. Leave Taylor Swift alone. All right. I labeled the comments I can't handle is not real. Oh, Sabrina, you might have to turn on your gifting options. Yeah, see, I don't know if you're on your phone. I don't know if you could do it on your phone. But normal job interviewer. Don't talk to your family about this. It's legit. Trust me, bro. Exactly. All right, here, let me see if I have this TikTok here. It's a guy. No, I'm going to keep looking because I can't find it. But anyways.
Alexa, stop. My Alexa device is coming on. So in the event that they would have put in the newspaper, Electrolux is hiring, selling vacuums, commission only, what do you think the likelihood of me, the college graduate, would have been to go on that job interview? Zero.
Probably not likely. Right, yeah.
Zero. So when I went in there, the gentleman, many times they had a blind off, what we call like a blind office. It was an office on top of the Electrolux store. So it's in New York, so you have storefront on the bottom, and lots of businesses have offices up on top of the retail stores. And in the retail store, he never really mentioned the name Electrolux. So he went through this whole thing telling me about a management training position and talking to me about the highlights of this. And, I won't bore you with the details of the job interview, but he told me about how I could earn the opportunity to run one of their offices. Never mentioned vacuums, never mentioned commissions.
Oh, did he talk about being an area vice president? This is Peter. This is Peter. Ready?
You were literally talking shit. Oh my god, you're literally such a pussy. You're the one talking shit. He was literally talking shit to me. You're the one swing first. You were.
Oh my god. I gotta watch it again. This is literally the same energy. This is literally Peter.
You're literally talking shit. Oh my god, you're literally such a pussy. You're the one talking shit. He was literally talking shit to me. You're the one swing first.
Oh boy. Oh. The quiver. The quivering. Oh my goodness. The caption of that is school fight in grade 8. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I kind of went through the processes, and then eventually when I found out it was vacuums and it was going to be commission and it was Electrolux, I had to kind of make that intellectual decision, well, do I not do this or do I try it anyway? And if it wasn't for that, I'm holding up my fingers like quotes, if it wasn't for that level of deception, I probably would have never joined that company. So if he told me straight up front what it was, I would have never joined. But he prevented me. Now, some people are going to say this is a warped version of rationalizing deception. But because he didn't tell me what it was originally, I was able to make a better decision based on real information, and that led to the career and ultimately led to the person I became. And, fuck you, Marco. All of the shithead goonheads, goonheads are sitting there making their comments. So they haven't made a fraction of the income that I've made over my life. Based on real information.
They've never made a fraction of the income I've made over my life. Well, considering you're 60, that should be the case, and even still it's not. You're doing this bumbleclot radio show at fucking 60 years old.
Real information, and that led to the career and ultimately led to the person I became. And, fuck you, Marco. All of the shithead goonheads, goonheads are sitting there making their comments where they haven't made a fraction of the income that I've made over my lifetime. So the reality is...
You were literally talking shit. All your fucking goonheads. Fuck you, Marco. You're goonheads. Oh, good. Fuck you, Marco. That's a drop. That is a drop. Somebody clip that. Devin, clip that. Whew. You were literally talking shit. The goon heads. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
The reality is that that level of justified deception has a place in the marketplace. Now, some people might say, well, I don't like that. I say, I get it.
Yeah, I also need the soundbite of, you're literally talking shit to me. You're such a fucking pussy. I gotta watch it again, bro. I gotta watch it again. Oh my gosh. Hold on, where is it? TikTok, school. Dude, how much of this stream is me watching TikToks? First, the Trump impression guy. This guy is so good. His TikTok is... His TikTok is that Martin kid. It's so... This has 12 million views, and he deserves 12 million more.
You were literally talking shit. Oh my God, you're literally such a pussy. You're the one talking shit. He was literally talking shit to me. You're the one swing first.
Fuck. Oh, I swear to God, I'm one of the best streamers on the planet. I have to be. I have to be. There's no other stream that in a 3-hour span, there's this many fucking laugh to your stomach and face hurts moments. There can't be. There cannot be. You were literally talking shit.
And I get it, but that justified deception is what Electrolux used to recruit a lot of their managers, and they became some of the most successful people that I know. Now, so does that justify Amway from doing that? Well, if there was something on the back end that was legit and could really give them the opportunity, then I say, okay, I can understand the justified deception. The problem with Amway, and I got to keep coming back to this for you and Glenn and people that like listen to Scott's story. They never had a chance. The whole thing was a fraudulent business model based on the undisclosed tool scam. That's the whole thing. They never stood a chance. So you never stood a chance because you were plugged into an imperfect model. And unfortunately, that's the way Amway still does it today. So not every company does it that way. That's why I say you can't say that all MLM is bad. In Glenn's mind, because his dad was with Amway and still is, according to Glenn, in his mind, and I'm speaking out for Glenn, I mean, MLM equals Amway.
Yeah, justified deception. Let's not glaze over that. Okay, so but there you go, Peter. So MLM equals Amway. And yet you say Amway doesn't do it right. So then how could an MLM do it right? Again, these guys will never fucking answer.
I mean, that's all Glenn thinks about. They say that all MLM is bad. In Glenn's mind, because his dad was with Amway and still is.
He's saying it's Glenn.
According to Glenn, in his mind, and I'm speaking out for Glenn, I mean, MLM equals Amway.
Okay, sorry. So he was speaking from Glenn's POV.
I mean, that's all Glenn thinks about. Everything always reverts back to Amway and his dad. And that's true for everybody in Amway. Scott Johnson would still be in Amway with the tool scam if he was as blinded by their level of deception still, and that's part of the problem. Amway is not MLM. Amway is MLM done wrong. And I'll even go to say, you know, it's not like the company is bad. The company allows bad practices. And maybe because the company allows bad practices, the company is bad. But the reality is I wish it wasn't that way, but that's just the way it is. So I hope that at least gives you something to think about relative to why they do it that way, because it works. Can you justify that way? Yeah, maybe I can. But why is it bad? Because there's nothing on the back end that makes it good. With Amway and the way they do it, very few people make money. It's just that upper echelon in the side of the tools business that makes that money. So I'll let you talk.
And Peter, let me make a non-sales analogy, and I'm sure Marco's going to twist this out of proportion too. But a non-sales analogy would be something like, you know, when I went to college and I earned an electrical engineering degree, if they had told me coming out of high school how hard I would have to work for that, I'm not sure if I would have applied myself, you know, all the way through those 4 years. Or when I joined the Navy, if they told me, did you know you're going to have to stand 5 and dime watches, which means 5 hours on, 10 hours off, and the 10 hours isn't really off because then you have to do your you know, during the day, during the week duties as well. But every single day, your body clock is being shifted around. If you do the numbers, 5 and dimes, it's daytime one day that you're awake and it's nighttime the next day you're awake and you just get totally screwed up. If they had told me you're going to have to do that, you're going to have to go through that, I may not have joined the Navy. Now, to Peter's point, is it fundamentally a scam in the operational aspect? And the answer is no. It's a legitimate degree. It's a legitimate military operation. There's no scam involved. It's hard, but there's no scam involved. But with Amway and many other MLMs, if they have a tool scam, if they have lack of retail sales, then it's a scam. It doesn't matter whether they hide it in the beginning, because fundamentally, operationally, it's a scam. And so those are just two completely different comparisons when you try to equate an MLM scam to any other situation that has similarities to it. Does that make sense?
It does. It does make sense. But that's, again, I think we agree that most of the majority of multi-level marketing is a scam, and it's impossible to succeed. It's impossible. Well, not impossible, because some people do, but it's very difficult to make any kind of actual income to where, see, to me, when I think Glenn might have said this, somebody would say define success in an MLM. And for me, again, this is just in an MLM, what I would consider successful is somebody that could do that full time and they clear minimum wage. To me, because again, that's like the top 1% could clear minimum wage in an MLM, because most of them don't clear that or make that. They lose money. But in real life, nobody aspires just to make a minimum wage. You know what I mean? The whole MLM dream is sold 10 to 15 hours a week, you're going to be a millionaire. And we know that that's just not feasible. It's not. So that's my biggest hang-up on these things. And again, living this firsthand, for 18 months of my life and seeing the ins and outs of what this is and the way they talk and finding more and more out about it, and then finding Marco's channel when he did I forgot the first one. I think it was WFG. I think it wasn't WFG. I forgot who Hartej was. He went after
ACN. He went after ACN as well.
Yeah, ACN. He went after ACN. He went after I Am Again. The ACN one was great. That's my favorite video that he did. I love that because it just proves what kind of people that you're dealing with here. Those are shysters, man. That guy was a shyster. That's a shyster.
Now, just to also expand on the things that we're talking about, I don't want to say most, many other MLMs are really offshoots of Amway, meaning
yes, they are.
They learned what they learned from Amway.
Exactly.
And therefore they just duplicate. So it's kind of like the Gremlins, where you throw them in the pool, and all of a sudden they start popping up all over the place.
Exactly.
So they just do what they were told. So that's part of the big problem. Now, if you would ask me what's my definition of success in MLM, my definition of success in MLM would be able to find a good company with some products that you would probably use yourself.
So do they not think that a good MLM currently exists, but that it could, and that's the basis of their whole argument? Is they're arguing on behalf of a hypothetical good MLM that they can't name because it doesn't exist? The fucking irony. You were literally talking shit.
And enjoy, would increase your life or your lifestyle, that you would be able to sell and recruit enough people to be able to pay for those, generate profits, and also get tax deductions. So if you are an employee, you are able to save money on the legitimate tax deductions that a home-based business person could use as they're effectively building a business. And then so that's level of success. Whether it's a few $100, a few $1,000, that's maybe based on that person's ability to kind of go out there and do things based on a lot of variables. And then, let's call that the unit of success. As those units of success are developed, if you have a lot of them under you over time, you can make a boatload of money. And I remember when I was in direct sales, I could never outsell my group. Meaning, personally, my group, when I was successful, my group commissions were always way larger than anything I could ever do on a regular basis. So that would be success building a downline, where the people that are doing stuff on your own and the commissions that are generated get to be so big, it outcompetes anything you can do. And then you can eventually have that legitimate financial freedom that you're looking for. But there's nothing about that says get rich quick or it's easy and pushing buttons on a calculator, 5 to get 5 to get 5. Nothing about my definition fits into any of the hype that you hear. So if you're weak, and I've said this before, there's no strength in weakness, which is, again, something Marco cannot figure out. But if you're weak,
Such wisdom. There's no strength in weakness. Well, duh. You know what I mean?
Sit there and overhype and you oversell the compensation plan. You start talking about becoming a bazillionaire. You're talking about the income level you're going to generate on your 87th level. That's weakness. That's not strong selling. If you're strong selling, you can actually explain this stuff to people. And unfortunately, not everybody's going to want to do it when you're done with your explanation. And that's what we call okay. So not everybody has to be sponsored in. So when they're sponsored in out of that level of deception, that's when
That's what we call okay. We call it okay. It's all right. We call it okay.
MLM is done wrong. And you have to be around it done right to understand the difference. And that's when we get back into what does Marco really know? And he knows a little bit, and he hits some of the regular points on a regular basis. But when he starts to expand in the areas that he doesn't know, that's when he's either bad for the community or he's just plain stupid. And part of that is just his hubris as far as just being plain stupid. So anyway, so I hope that helps. And Scott, you're still here, so we're over the time that we allotted. We can continue talking. And if you get disconnected, Scott, you can't call back in because the radio show's over as far as the programming is concerned. But
yeah, I've arrived at my destination, so my connection should be pretty good. Peter, we are over time, but I don't mind Kevin coming back again to be on the show if he wants to, and we can, delve into these questions and other questions that he might have, and just kind of expand the.
It'd be helpful to answer the questions he asked in the first place, but
analysis, if you will.
Yeah, no, listen, I would come on again. So, Scott, I'm not scared to come on now. I just have to be a busy guy during the NBA because that is really what my channel is. I'm a sports broadcaster. That's what I do. I've always wanted to do that. It was a dream of mine, and I just never pursued it for whatever reason.
Peter said he couldn't call Melaleuca an MLM because the CEO sues people who call it that. Insane.
Never did, but YouTube allows me the opportunity to do that, and I love sports. It's a gigantic thing that I do, so I do videos about it. And, I just was really busy. It wasn't that I was avoiding it. I just really was busy at that time. And again, you can tell I have a 6-year-old kid. I work a full-time job. I go to the gym quite frequently. So I wasn't avoiding it. I just really was busy. But I was
mostly just giving you a hard time because you were giving me a hard time in the comment section. So it's no big deal. But yeah, if you want to come on again, now I think we've got guests. I think both next week and the week after. I'll have to, check my calendar to see if we have guests, in the next 2 weeks. But certainly the third week after this is open. I can pencil you in for that one. And if one of the next 2 weeks happens to open up,
you guys can communicate about that. Yeah, you guys can communicate that later on after the radio show. And one last thing, I asked you for the best. I know you like the Giants, so I'm a big Giants fan as well. Even though I went to school at Hofstra, the Jets practice at Hofstra, but I was never a Jets fan.
Yes.
I asked you the best player, and you sold out. You said Lawrence Taylor. I was a huge. No, it's not. I was a huge Harry Carson fan. So if you remember Harry Carson, it might be a little bit.
I remember Harry Carson. That was in my heyday. But come on, Peter.
There's
no way. There's no.
Does this sports argument go on for the final 4 minutes here?
Giant.
There's no way you will ever convince me. Lawrence Taylor's the greatest defensive player of all time.
No, he's the most commercial.
No, you'll never get me to come over there.
Harry Carson.
I'll never do that.
I'm telling you.
I love Harry Carson, and I love Derek.
No, Harry Carson was the linebacker. He was involved. I used to watch a lot of the tapes. The reason why I justify my answer is I used to watch all the tapes.
Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com, along with our marketing partner.
Hold on. Jean-Luc and Peter Mingles on Building Fortunes Radio on aliens. Let me go back to that last bit here real quick. Oh, fuck. I keep skipping it, motherfucker.
And Ron Success as entrepreneurs.
Your week again.
No.
Good things to report. We have Father's Day coming up Sunday.
Why won't it let me go to the episode?
So anybody really feel good about...
it keeps playing a different episode. Anyways, I'm guessing that was the end of it because how could it not be, right?
Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio.
I don't want to listen to Jean-Luc and Peter Mingles talk about aliens. Actually, that does sound kind of interesting. I might actually want to do that.
So it's kind of like a blue Jets practice at Hofstra, but I was the most degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. Like you could just say Harry Carson was involved in that play. So I'll sit there. I'll debate you on that one. Baddog, if you want to give out a YouTube channel because we've been here.
HNSON, that's all one word.
Follow Baddog Sports on YouTube, y'all. We did good on the bingo tonight, too. How many bingos is that? 1 diagonal, 2, 3, almost 5. Damn.
And again, there's 3 websites there. We talk about that next show, too. We'll talk about that on the next show. But the conversation, and I would love to continue it, to educate people with real stuff versus, Marco, because Marco is not knowledgeable. And we can talk about that next show, too. We'll talk about that on the next show. But thanks for coming in, and Peter, I'll let you close it out. Go ahead.
So we'll see everybody next time on Building Fortunes Radio.
Wow.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com.
Marco.
Thanks for listening.
Marco.
Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the...
Insane. Let me, Baddog, if you're available, let me give you a call real quick and get your thoughts on that episode now that I've reacted to it. I'm gonna call you on Discord here. Let's see if I can. We're calling Baddog Sports. We call him Baddog Sports. He's one of the baddest dogs. He's a dog. He died like a dog. They called me Mad Dog, Bad Dog, and Kevin. Hilarious. We call it losing. We call it, some people call it mingles. They call it. You look at what's going on under Biden. There's no more bad dogs. Bad Dog. Trying to call you on Discord. Let's see if we can get Bad Dog in here to give us a little recap, or not recap, but like a final thoughts, or maybe something he wanted to say on the show or that he didn't get a chance to, or something he wants to say. Bad Dog, what up?
What up? What up?
There he is. So, good job, man. You did great on Losing Fortunes. What do you want to say about it?
No, the balls on that guy. I have the fucking balls on that guy. What the fuck is he doing, Marco? Coming out here, the balls of this guy.
No doubt, no doubt. So, did you think it was a good experience? Are you happy that you did it?
I'll be honest. I thought they were pretty civil. They allowed me to speak my mind. They they gave me ample time. So it went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. I try to get them to debate you, man. I don't know why they won't do it. They should just do it. Just get, just do it. Quite frankly, just get it done. Frankly, just debate.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. We whatever debate we call it a debate. Quite frankly, yeah. I know that not everybody can debate. It's just Sleepy Joe. He can't debate. Crooked Hillary. He can't do it.
You look at what's happening under Biden. There's no more debates. There are no more debates.
No more debates. You take a look at the border situations, the worst you've had.
The southern border. So true. We're going to make it much more. We're going to bring it back strongly, and we're going to make it bigger, and we're going to make it better, and we've got to secure the border, frankly. So true. It's unbelievable. You look at what's happening now, and I gave a speech about the border, and it was a great speech, frankly.
You take a look at the gas prices, inflation, worse since the Jimmy Carter era, quite frankly. It's been terrible. No, but yeah, man, listen, I love what you do, man. And, like I said, if there was a channel like yours around 20 years ago, there is a cricket in my house, by the way, and it is driving me insane. I don't know where the hell this thing is.
No way.
But I can hear a cricket.
That literally sounds like the cricket sound effect that I play on stream sometimes.
It's in my boiler room.
Wow.
I can't pinpoint them. They just got louder over here.
Oh my
God.
God.
It's in my boiler room. I'm going to go upstairs here for a second. But yeah, man, I think what you do is great. And like I said, if I had your channel 20 years ago and I at least could have found this stuff, it would have saved me 18 months of my life and $8,000 or whatever the hell I ended up losing.
Right.
But yeah, man, like I said, it wasn't a bad experience. I wish they would have answered some of the questions, but at the end of it, it seemed to me, like I said, when I'm talking to these guys and I read some of the comments, they seem more anti-MLM to me. They can't name an MLM that is legitimate. They keep going back to Amway, and we know every MLM, you've talked about it before,
yes.
The pyramid schemes, Amway's at the top of that pyramid. So they all duplicate Amway. And if Amway is the bad guy, they're all bad guys.
What's so fascinating about Scott and Peter, too, is every specific point that anyone brings up about what is bad about MLMs, every deception they agree with. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Oh, yeah, that's bad. And yet they still somehow conclude, well, we're only against it if it's done wrong. It's like, oh, my God, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, I that's what I mean. They agree they're all done wrong. So it was difficult for me to understand. That was the biggest reason I wanted to go on the show, especially, with going back and forth with Scott in the comment section. Like, Scott seems like he gets it to me, like it's BS. And I thought that excuse me, I'm still under the weather here,
all
but
good, bro.
Like I said, the one thing that I really thought was telling was when he said to Glenn, the lazy people that don't do anything and get out earlier in better shape than somebody that works the system. And I'm like, well, if you work that hard and you did it for years and years and years and years, and you still failed, it's not because of you. It's because that system set up to fail.
For sure.
And again, it's all of them. This isn't just because of a tool scam. I mean, does Herbalife have a tool scam? LuLaRoe, is that a tool scam? Was Vima a tool scam?
Well,
were any of these other
they
ones?
all have books and stuff that they sell that's like supplemental materials that they make money off of. But for some reason, Scott and Peter only focus on the Amway tool scam. Why? Well, because that's the one that got Scott. Scott, in my opinion, only cares about that issue because it's the one that affected him, and he wants people, he wants to be the main character and wants people to feel bad for him. That's why he never talks about any of the other issues with any other MLMs. He doesn't. How do you do a show for however long they've been doing it, 10 years or whatever, and every single episode you talk about the Amway tool scam and lack of retail sales? It blows my mind.
Yeah, because I don't know how many times they have to say that. It's not just Amway. You would think that they would want other people to know all of these. And like I said, if you want to if you can make a part-time living, if you can make some extra money just selling the products, that's one thing. But you shouldn't be forced to buy all those tapes and books and CDs and go to these rallies and functions and all this other shit. And I'm telling you, man, it was just weird stuff. Then people banging on my door to try to get in my house. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Or the balls on that guy, Marco. The fucking
balls to come to my stoop.
Come over to my fucking neighborhood. Tell me you can't have any coffee. The fuck is wrong with you, huh? I told him, fuck you. I said, suck on my dick, motherfucker. But that was, it was just, it was fucked up. I'm like, that guy was a complete cocksucker. My upline Ruby was he was a complete cocksucker. And
what's
a
he up to now?
Hypocrite. What's that? I don't know. I don't know whatever happened to that guy.
He sleeps with the fishes.
He's not a diamond because I looked up diamonds just to see if that guy ever made it, and he never did. So
he's got cement boots on.
Yeah, I know a guy. He makes cement boots. We call him cement boot. We call him cement boot maker, frankly.
We call him cement boot Stan. That's what we call him.
We call him Cement Charlie. He goes. Charlie makes cement boots. He makes them in big pairs, small pairs. If you're a bigger man, he makes bigger boots. Quite frankly,
huge. You're one of these big, strong guys. Frankly, great genes. You look at this guy. They won't show that guy the fake news, but frankly, he's a big guy, and nobody knows big guys like me. Frankly, believe it or not, it's unbelievable. You look at what's going on under Biden. There's no more big guys. But when I'm back in office, we're going to do it bigger, and we're going to do it better. So true. It's so true.
So true. And I'll tell you another guy. You see Marco on creatine, he's a big guy, quite frankly. You see he's beefing up, he's looking like Bad Dog. Bad Dog's very proud of Marco.
So true.
He's looking bigger and better than ever. When I'm in office in 2024, Marco's going to be really jacked.
Well, he's
going to go down the... What's that?
He's taking creatine. They call it supplementing. They call it taking supplements. They call it creatine. They call it pre-workout. So when you look at what's going on in the gym with the pre-workout, you look at what's going on in the change room, what he's taking before. It's unbelievable, really.
It is. You take a look at Jarek Kidd. He's a nasty human, quite frankly. I have no room for me. Should we share the cell with Crooked Hillary?
He's a dog.
Maybe you should even. He's a dog, like Rosie, a turtle dog.
So true.
Nah, you look at Jack, bro. It's good shit. Creatine's good shit. I'm waiting for us to start that creatine MLM. We got this thing.
Oh, of course, dude. I've got the whole pitch worked out. Don't worry.
Beautiful.
You can build your creatine.
Exactly.
Well, I hope you get on there again, and maybe they'll actually directly answer one of your questions next time.
Yeah, we'll give it another try. Yeah. Like I said, I have Scott's email, so I've heard. But I did email him, say, hey man, I appreciate you letting me come on there and tell my story, and I would be open to doing it again. So.
Yeah.
We'll see, brother.
Yeah, I wish I had been around 20 years ago. I mean, I would have been making these videos when I was 7, if that was the case.
Yeah. Or you'd be old like me, and then, it'd be what it is.
Well, hey, man, I mean, there's still so many people being lured in every year, so I'm doing it for the people who are, 18 now that are getting pitched this shit fresh out of high school and trying to,
Yeah.
In the chat, somebody says, they call it retaining water. They call it,
retaining water. That's it. Everybody should eat too many carbs, quite frankly. I know carbs.
You look at the macros.
I love donuts.
Oh boy, the macros on this guy. You look at the protein; it's unbelievable.
I love Big Macs, quite frankly. Big Macs. And you know what else I love, Marco? I love Italians.
McDonald's.
I love the Italian people.
You look at the play place under Biden. There's no more play places anymore. It's called COVID-19. They called it China virus. That's what they called it. And it came in strongly. And they brought it into the play place. They call it the play place. Barron, he loved to play there. Ivanka, she went there. She said, Daddy, I'm going in the play place at McDonald's. And, you know, I would eat the Big Macs while she would play. And now you look, and it's so sad, but so true. You look under Biden, and there's no more play places. It's so true.
And it's amazing, quite frankly. They brought in the China virus. They didn't even have to pay any import tax on it. It's quite frankly, it's a disaster. You know, but seriously, that ACN video was that was awesome. I remember if that's how I found you. I can't remember if it was that or the WFG one with Hartej. I don't remember which one I saw first, but that was beautiful, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to you dropping that next video and the one where you caught that woman trying to recruit at the coffee shop or wherever you were.
The coffee shop.
The coffee. You're right. We can't say coffee. I mean, it's coffee. Right. It's just coffee. It is. It is what it is.
I went outside and I confronted her and I said, "The fucking balls on you to try to recruit somebody."
The fucking balls in a coffee shop of all fucking places, of all coffee shops. She fucking walks into mine with the Napoleon Hill book and says, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, I like that laptop. Would you like to join my MLM?" I said, "Fuck you, huh?" So I went
and confronted her. She goes, "We were just talking.
I'm talking here. I'm talking here.
I called her out completely. I called her out. The very first thing I did was I called her out.
Oh, man. The mob names tonight in the chat were fucking hilarious. That is a skit if I've ever heard one. So hey, man, listen, you have in all seriousness, man, you got a talent, bro. You, like I said, man, I do this stuff too on YouTube. And it is, I think part of my reason for being successful is what I do is because when you're calling a game like I do, you have to be entertaining. Like I can't show the game, so I have to make it entertaining. I have to want people to come in and watch and say, why do I want to watch this guy when a bunch of other people are doing it? So the fact that you can be extremely entertaining, funny, on point with your points and factual, you got a talent, bro.
Dude, you kill it on YouTube, man. We got to talk YouTube sometime.
Yeah, we do. I don't watch a lot of content creators. I honestly don't, because like I said, my time is limited. But man, if I'm around or whatever, hey, you're live streaming, bro. I'm there.
Thank you, bro.
Oh, it's proud Patreon member here, brother.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And hey, don't forget that 20% from the Tooth Fairy, and when you win that competition.
Yeah, I hope I win that competition.
20%. We call it paying your fair share. We call it goon tax.
That's right. You see, man, I can't even talk. This is what happens when you're sick. I've been sick as shit for like 2 days or like a week. Quite
2 days, we call it 1 week.
we call it hacking it below.
We call it 1 week, 2 days.
Yeah. Right, 2 days. We call it 48 hours. We call it 48 hours. You take a look at what's going on with Muscle and Fitness. And quite frankly, if I had a physique like Baddog, I would have been president for the last 10 terms, quite frankly.
Melania should be saying, "Wow, look at that guy, big strong guy."
Big strong guy. We do it bigly, quite frankly. And we do it with Big Macs and McDonald's. I like a Big Mac.
I feel like being sick helps your Trump impression, right?
I think being a New Yorker helps it.
Oh, yeah.
But I do. But I work for the state of New York, so a lot of people in there don't like Trump. But there's a couple that do. So when I do the imitation, I just think it's the funniest thing. I just go in there and start moving my hands around.
Yeah. And the shoulders.
Yep, the shoulders, the head, all that stuff. Quite frankly, you take a look at the gas prices, and it's insane. We're going to start drill, baby, drill. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start drilling.
We're going to build the wall. We're going to drain the swamp. We call it drain the swamp, flush the deep state. Crooked Hillary and Sleepy Joe Biden. They're in there, and they're ruining things, frankly, and it's sad. So sad.
It is sad. But when we're back in the office, Marco, nobody can stop us. Quite frankly, it's going to be tremendous. It's
We
going to be
call
bigger
it
than
Little
ever before.
Marco, Little Marco Rubio.
We call it tremendous. We're going to do tremendous things, frankly. Tremendous, frankly, extraordinary. You take a look at the Marco. They're lying about us. That guy right there, fake news media. There he is. It's fake news. CNN, fake news.
When I was talking about the McDonald's and the play places, and Paz in the chat said, "You look at what's happening with ball pits."
The balls on the guy.
Balls on his
balls. You take a look at the balls in the pits.
I'm leading everything. I'm leading in every one of them, frankly. I'm up 47. I'm at 47. You're at 2.
That's correct. And Ron DeSacramonious, he's got no chance against me, quite frankly.
You know, I gave him an endorsement 2 years ago. I gave him an endorsement. Look how he treats me now. It's absolutely incredible. It's tremendous the way he flip-flop. We call it flip-flop.
We call it flop-flip, flip-flop. Whatever we call it, what we do know is I can stand on my own 2 feet, unlike Sleepy Joe falls over sandbags on the stage.
Yeah, fuck. Well, man, I really appreciate it. We definitely got to talk YouTube sometime. And
absolutely,
thank you for going on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Keep killing it on your channel. You know I'll be watching, brother.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Be good, Marco.
Baddog Sports, everybody.
All right. Later, guys.
Later. Wow. We call it Baddog Sports. We call it Baddog. He's a dog, frankly. He's a dog. He died like a dog. Okay, it's hurting my voice now. Awesome. That was an amazing stream. I really have to give it up to the Goons and the Goon bots and all you guys watching. That was a lot of fun. And so many, you take a look at what's happening with the like button. They call it engagement. 2 days, they call it 48 hours. They call it 2 days, they call it 1 week. So funny. Yeah, you guys came through with the thumbs ups, the tings, and appreciate you guys, man. They call it big balls, cement. Hold on, I'm reading your guys' comments. The chat froze for a sec, I think. Silica says, to create my Kriya dream team, I became the product. I eat 2 tubs of creatine a day, and I never have to blink. So true. Oh, man. NPAS says, I saw a Baddog stream, and Baddog is a natural-born sports commentator. So true. So true. Philly accent is tough, for sure. Baddog is the man. They call it quivering lip. They call it, I think they'll be wrong. They call it I'm a bitch. Yeah. Bigly. I love it. The Silica says, the Trump MLM New York mobster crossover is a powerhouse combo. So true. So true. You look at what's happening with Biden, and there's no more crossovers. We're gonna have so many crossovers. We're gonna have Batman and Spider-Man. They call it Peter Parker. Great guy. Nobody knows Marvel like me. All right, you guys. I agree, Peter Miggles. This was up there. I gotta go back and add chapters, and like the stream, Larry, and rewatch that fucking, mobster segment and read your guys' comments, because that was a lot of fun. Bonus stream was a success. Absolute. It was such a success. Absolutely great. Nobody knows. Appreciate it, you guys. Don't do drugs. Thank you.
Happy
yes.
Belated birthday
Happy
to
belated to
NPAZ.
NPAZ. Yes.
Billions and billions.
Ah, fuck. Thank you, Sanjila. Appreciate you sacrificing your Pokemon life. Silica says, I'm visiting my parents tomorrow. They're going to get so tired of me talking like Trump for the next 3 days. So true. All right, you guys. Marvel is the most beautiful universe there is. It truly is beautiful. Just like my daughter, Ivanka. All right, peace out, you guys. See you tomorrow night. Wow. Tomorrow night, debate. Debate with an MLM that I won't say the name of. Ooh, who could it be? I guess you'll just have to tune in and thumbs up the ting to find out. Oh, my goodness. All right, you guys. Peace.
Marco!
We call it Patreon, link in the chat. We call it join the Patreon.